your organs just shut. It's just the same way with Janie. Janie wasn't doing drugs. He didn't overdose. James wasn't doing any drugs. It's so weird. They just drank themselves to death. It sucked. That's when we realized, oh, we really do sound like Zeppelin. And I hope it doesn't, you know, I hope it's a good thing. I always thought of it as a good thing. It's like being compared to the Beatles. Like, who would say, oh shit, we sound like the Beatles, man. Right. There was times where the only way to get him going again is to give him another shot. I mean, that sounds really harmful and not good. And then I remember like a week later seeing it on MTV. Kingdom Come was just broke. We just heard Kingdom Come broke up. I never knew he left the band. He was always saying, I don't need you guys, you know. I mean, he kind of didn't, because it was the Jani Lane show, and he was writing all the stuff. Van Halen, Scorpions, Dokken, Metallica. And you guys, their drinking and their partying antics were normal to them. To me, I was like, what? You were just with another girl. Why? Nothing. Yeah, I see you with what?
He was gonna try to get a record deal. It didn't pan out.
Right.
Apparently that's, you know, you're part of that.
Right.
So he goes back to Warrant in '94.
So that's that. That's that for James, you know, God rest his soul. That side project ended up putting out 20 songs that no one's ever heard except, you know, under the Jabberwocky name, right? And I was like, hey, I'm in a band. I didn't care. Grunge, right. Let's play. Cherry pie it is, baby. It was funny. It was a good time. It was a great time. Yeah.
From Warrant to Crew, the hair metal guru, never forget Charlie too.
Hey, it is unbelievable that we have Rick Steier on the show. Rick, who played on 2 great albums with Kingdom Come in the late 80s. He put out an underrated album with a band called Wild Horses in 1991. He played with Warrant on the Ultraphobic and Belly to Belly albums, and he's back with a reunited Kingdom Come, playing shows and apparently working on an album as we speak. With that, Rick Steier, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Anthony. It's good to be here with you.
Oh man, it's we have been talking before, but I met you numerous times in the 90s when you were with Warrant. You were always awesome. You guys were cool. You'd invite me on the bus and everything. So I just wanted to acknowledge.
You remember that, being on the bus? That's amazing. So
yeah, well,
the bus, it kind of goes into fogland.
Oh, trust me, I can relate to that too.
I don't remember ever being on the bus. That's how bad it was, or good it was.
You're right, right. So I want to
one correction. Yeah. So after I did 2 records with Wild Horses, believe it or not.
Okay, because there was one that came out years later, correct?
A few years later, 3 years later.
Okay, so
and it overlapped with me being in Warrant.
Okay.
But yeah, it's in there somewhere.
I'm glad you clarified.
Oh, dead ahead.
Okay. So I want to get into what you're doing now and to fill us in on what's happening with Kingdom Come. Yeah. But I like to go back, like when do you start playing guitar, and when do you start realizing, like, hey, this is going to be my thing, this music thing?
Well, my sisters were playing piano, and I wasn't. I would just go with my dad to take them to their piano lessons and come back with them, whatever. So one time they weren't ready, and I was sitting it was called a music studio, not a studio, but a school, a music school.
Sure.
So we were sitting there, and there's all these different rooms with different musicians doing different instruments, right? And while I was waiting for my sisters to come out of their piano lessons, one of the guitar teachers came out. He was talking to another guy, and he was just sitting there fiddling around, diddling, just playing. And I was like, that is so freaking cool. And my dad saw that it piqued my interest, and he goes, you want to take guitar lessons? I go, I don't know. And then the guy came over and we talked a little bit. I don't remember exactly everything, but my dad said, yeah, you want to take them? I go, sure. And that was really the genesis of the whole thing. But it wasn't like, at that age, it's 7 years old, I wasn't like I had musical heroes.
Right.
I just liked the way that guitar sounded.
Right.
It wasn't like, wow, can you play Hendrix or or whatever. So
Right.
it was just the idea of playing a guitar.
Yeah.
And then so at that point I was like, it was just a side thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kept playing and everybody kept saying how good I would, how well I was advancing and what have you. I got into high school, or actually I was in grade school. They call it elementary school now.
Yep.
See how and I got my first band in 5th grade. Now we sucked, but it was a band, right?
Right.
We had a lead singer, 2 guitar players, no bass player, and a drummer.
Right.
So we would play stuff like Pipeline or Wipeout,
Yeah.
instrumental stuff, or I would play the melody of a singer, whatever his melody was or her melody was. The other guitar player, that was our band, and we thought it was so cool. 5th grade.
Yeah.
6th grade, we added a bass player. We had to teach him right on the spot, but he had a bass, so
Yeah.
we had that going for us.
Right.
So we taught him where to put his fingers, and okay, by 7th grade, sort of the same. 8th grade, we had a real band because we were pulling a couple kids from other schools. Okay, and that didn't last long because then high school came.
Yeah.
We played a couple parties, like my uncle's birthday party, and we kept playing, like the same 3 songs over and over and over.
Right. Right.
And they kept going, yeah. They love us. Another encore. This is our 15th encore, dude. Man,
Right.
we're the best. So in high school, I was a freshman in an all boys school. Yeah, we don't have to talk about my nightmares still.
Right.
But,
I'm sure.
yeah, I had to wear a coat and tie to school and a haircut above the.
Wow.
Anyway, so this one guy wasn't at the school. He was older and like 4 years older. He saw me play somewhere, and he was a sax player. And he said, dude, you want to, work? It wasn't trying out. He said, you want to be in the band if it works out. So I said, well, yeah, what kind of stuff do you play? And he goes, well, we have horns. So we're doing Chicago, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I go, okay, what do I have to do? So I wasn't really familiar with those bands.
Yeah.
But so when I went to the first rehearsal, it was like everybody was older. And I was able to hold my own, even though, I wasn't really into the music. It wasn't that I wasn't into it. I just didn't know enough about it.
Yeah.
So I started playing some, I knew those jazzy chords that they'd play, minor ninths and all this stuff. From lessons. I had started lessons at 7. So now I'm 15 or something, right?
Yeah.
So, however, I quit lessons at 11. So anyway, I learned a lot on my own.
Yeah.
To make it a little shorter story, once I got into a big band with older guys, I realized this is really cool and this is what I wanted to do. That's really when the lights went off. And I was like, this isn't a side thing for me anymore. This is like, I want to do this for real.
So were you in like a private school? It
was a private school, but none of these other guys were in that school.
Yeah.
It was just me. And I was so young that he would have to pick me up from school.
Sure.
And I'd get in his car and take me to practice.
Well, I asked that because if your parents put you in a private school, were they okay with you, taking rock and roll?
I hear you. Only because I'd been doing it for so long before. If I had just taken it up a year ago and think, oh, there he's trying to get laid or something, I don't. But they knew that I'd been playing and it was part of the progression of me advancing. So they were okay. However, when it did come, I played all through high school. When it did come down to college time, they said, look, I know you're really into this music, but this is what everybody said to their kids back then. We really want you to go to school and have something to fall back on.
Right.
because I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I mean, it's not like the Mecca music center of the world. So I was like, okay, what's the closest thing to music? Music class. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. So I thought I'll take electrical engineering because I thought, well, synthesizers, there's electronics involved.
Yeah.
So by then that horn band, we went away by the wayside. And then college, I joined another band that it was 5-piece girl singer, and we were playing all over the city.
Okay.
Bar mitzvahs, reunions, 10-year, high school reunions, birthday party. Just we were playing one-nighter gigs, every Friday and Saturday. But anyway, so where was I?
Do you meet James in high school, or when do you meet James?
No, that's way later.
Okay.
Yeah. So James was in another separate part of the city and different high school, that whole thing.
Okay.
So, what was I getting to? So I joined this other band called Wild Honey.
Okay.
Sounds pretty, treacherous, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pretty rocking. And so we played that. Oh, the college thing. So I said, well, I can go to school and still play gigs on the weekend. So that's what I did all through college.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I made it through to my my parents will never forget this, or forgive me for. So I was 12 credits short of my degree.
Okay.
And I decided, because I'd been with this band 3 years, and we were known all over the city, and everybody wanted us. The talent agencies were, wanted us and whatever.
Okay.
So I with 12 hours to go, that was another semester.
Yeah.
So electrical engineering, my course was set up over 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a regular bachelor's, because there was on-site training where you take a job and you learn on the trade. You come back to another semester and whatever. And so where was I again?
You had 12 hours left.
12 hours left. Yeah, it freaked me out thinking about it, because I remember trying to tell my parents, well, Mom and Dad, we decided, the bass player and I, were going to open up a nightclub and be the house band. Like, excuse me? Yeah, you heard it right. 12 hours, Rick. Yeah, I know, but the opportunity, there's this place for us, and there's an opportunity to get this spot, and it's right now. And she's like, my mom was more upset. My dad was, because he was a fan of mine, because of music. He'd come to the shows, our little, wherever we'd play, because he was my ride, and he would get into it. He loved watching us. So he's more open to it. He goes, are you sure you know what you're doing? I go, no, I'm not sure at all, but we're going to do it anyway. Right. So this is really going beyond what you asked, but I'm just showing you that.
Okay.
So we found this warehouse downtown Louisville, and we didn't know anything about the bar business. We just knew that we play music, but we took it upon ourselves. It was an old distillery. And we went in there and sandblasted the walls, found people. We didn't know what the hell we're doing. Like, if I knew what I know now, never would have happened. Right. I wouldn't even think about it. I mean, it was crazy. But you're young. I was 20, opening a bar, and what? So we finally got that open, believe it or not, after we were able to secure a loan for $50,000. That's all we needed.
Yeah.
And to get the bar built, we had a friend that was a carpenter guy, and he was really. So we played that club, and we lost money. We filed bankruptcy the first year. Yeah. Okay. Because we didn't know what we were doing, and we were downtown, kind of a sketchy situation to begin with.
Sure.
Downtowns aren't always like renovate or refurbished like they are these days.
Yeah.
It was a little shady down there. Yeah. And so we had a crowd at first, but again, we didn't know what we were doing. And then we had the doorman, the door guy that checked IDs. He goes, "Why don't you guys have a college night or a wet t-shirt night?" You remember back in the day when all that stuff was happening?
Yes.
So I go, "Okay, how's that work?" And so he was the MC, and then we advertised college night because University of Louisville was only like 3 miles away.
Right.
We didn't even think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we drew a college crowd, and then it just ballooned and ballooned, and then we were able to pay our way out of bankruptcy and actually make some money. And then we got a little big for our pants, and we thought, well, why don't, everybody loves us here. Why don't we just go to LA?
Okay.
And another stupid idea at the time. I mean, sounded great, right?
Right.
They love us here. Why wouldn't they love us in LA? Come on, we're in Louisville.
Were you guys just playing covers or?
We had a few originals,
Okay.
like maybe 6.
Okay.
We thought, well, they're getting good response, so we'll go out there. And I'll tell you what, we would have fit in pretty good. We had a black drummer,
Yeah.
a gay chick singer, a big Samoan sax player, and a Italian weird bass player guy. I don't know. We just had, so maybe we would have had a deal. Anyway, so we decided to sell the club and make this, because John and I, he was the bass player. Do you really want to just do this? We'd done it for like 7 years.
Okay.
And built it up. So it was the place to go in Louisville.
Sure.
It was called City Lights.
Okay.
And we both said, we'll be kicking ourselves in the ass if we don't at least try. I mean, we were really comfortable here.
Yeah.
Making good money. I remember putting $1,000 away every week.
Okay.
Not making 1,000, saving 1,000.
Yeah. Oh,
this
yeah.
is back in fucking 90, whatever. So, so we kind of we came to the realization, well, we have to try. We have to go for it. So I'll cut out a lot of blah, 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 blah. Eventually we got out to, well, this is kind of a cool story. So
please.
Everybody out in LA, they would love to make their living at music, but everybody was a waiter, a courier, not Uber back then, couriers, or, they had side jobs. And then at night the bands would get together. But we thought, well, we were so good, we'll fly in a booking agent from LA to Louisville to see us. Right. And maybe we'll get real musical gigs out there. Yeah. And it worked. We flew him in and he goes, "You guys are really the best cover band I've ever heard." And that's all we wanted at that time. Okay. There was 3 bands that did cover music in the LA area that did covers really well, and they circulated between a club called the Red Onions. There was a group of them out here. Anyway, so he put us in these Red Onions. You play 3 weeks at one Red Onion, then go to another one, 3 weeks there, 3 weeks there, and then 3 weeks off. So there was 4 bands rotating. For the 3 weeks we're off, we'd play somewhere like in, Arizona or something. We'd make a trip out of it.
Sure.
Okay, so the reason this is all coming together, because this is where so we're in LA, right?
Yep.
Well, I skipped the James part. So back in Louisville, James had said he wanted to play drums, for the band, but the drummer wasn't. They were a little leery of coming to LA, so I said, "Well, if you don't want to come, we got this kid James Kottak that'll." He goes, "Oh no, I'm going to come." Okay. So they all come out. We play these gigs. Now we're in LA, so we're around musicians in bars where women are. So what? So everybody's seeing us and going, "Wow, he's a good keyboard player. Let's get him in our band. We have a record deal." Oh, I like the drummer. Let's get him. Oh, the singer, different people. It pulled the band apart, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, not begrudgingly say so, but kind of karma-wise, everybody that got pulled out ended up back in Louisville because they thought a record, we're naive. We thought a record deal. We didn't know everybody could get a record deal. It's just how it's promoted or not.
Right.
So we're like, well, God, they got a record deal. She's going to be a millionaire, and we're going to be sitting there playing clubs. Anyway, so told James, fly out here. We have a gig next week. 3 weeks. I mean, the 3 continuous weeks we have to play. You need to learn all these songs. So we flew him out, found a local guy to sing, found a different keyboard player, and then we crammed. So that went, we passed the muster. We stayed in that gig, and we were starting to write because we're in LA. These other guys were going, well, I want to play covers the whole time.
Right.
Even though it was a comfortable gig, they were into music.
Yeah.
And we just weren't pushed like to do it. We were like, we're here, we have 6 songs, but listen how good we sound on Roundabout, you know. No one can play Roundabout except us, you know. So we thought, you know, that would carry us, but it doesn't. Anyway, so again, we're the guy in what's that? Legs Diamond. You remember
Legs
that?
Diamond?
Yeah. So the bass player or the guitar player. Do you know any one of those guys?
I don't. I know of that band, but that's about
So again, what's the band? Anyway, what he came in and I could see he was chatting up James, blah blah blah, and then I go, okay, you're leaving. I can tell you're no. And I found out he did try out for the but he didn't like what he did.
Okay.
Go, okay, James, it's just a matter of time. I said. Then Lenny Wolf, who's the lead singer of Kingdom Come, he wasn't there, but his manager guy was.
Okay.
And he said, wow, that drummer would be perfect to play with Lenny. And so just as I was sure of, I mean, just as the sun rises every morning, he left. However, the band also, I was really upset. So we got a girl drummer anyway. And he was a friend of mine. I mean, my best friend out there, right?
James was.
Yeah, James was, but I couldn't like say, you know, dude, you can't leave me, man. I mean,
right.
You know, I said, you got to do what's best for you.
Yeah.
So the band was kind of formed, but they needed a rhythm keyboard player.
Yeah.
They had one, but he wasn't working out. So James calls me and goes, dude, come on down. They're ready for, I mean, I want you to, you can do this. I know how good you are at what you do. So, and it's not the hardest stuff in the world.
Sure.
So, and it really isn't, but anyway, that's another story. It sounds good, that is. So, so I went and jammed with the band. They go, you're in. So I was back with James, and that was how I got in Kingdom Come. Wow. Took me a half hour to get there, but we got there.
I love it, man. And I mean, I'll take however much information. So that was, when you get in, are the songs already written when you join the band?
Most of them were.
Okay.
I was able to input a little bit.
Okay.
But I was just happy that I was in a band that was signed with Polygram. It was a legitimate label.
Yep.
Had never been at that level. So this is interesting. So the deal was there, and I didn't care whether I had any writing credits or not. I was in this signed band. There was a lot of there was buzz around the band. Yeah. Bob Rock had produced the album, and so there was a lot of, like I said, buzz, and our manager came into one of our rehearsals one day and said, we're going to be playing on the Monsters of Rock tour. I go, what's that? I wasn't that stupid, but we're kind of going, wait, is that the one that's coming up in the summer? This was like in November.
Yeah.
Next summer, that Monsters Rock, it's Van Halen, Scorpions, Dokken, Metallica, and you guys. And like I'm going, did my pants all wet? Why are they? And they stink too. What the fuck? So it's like I'd never played more than in a club atmosphere, and I was like, I'm going to be playing on the stage, not with them, obviously, but to the same crowd
Yeah.
is Van Halen. And what the fuck?
Yeah.
God damn. So we did just to get ready for that. We did a little European tour.
Okay.
It wasn't really little. It was 8 weeks.
Okay.
Like January 15th to, I don't know, March something, or maybe, no, sorry. It started in March 15th and went to May.
Of 88 we're in, because that's when
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And then the Monsters of Rock started in Alpine Valley. I can't remember the exact date, but right at the end of May was like the kickoff right
May
after.
27th of 88.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Okay. I knew it was around Memorial Day and all that
Yep.
stuff. Right. And so we did that little European tour, and then there we were. And I was like, the first show was like, I was nervous. And I wasn't in the lead player, which had to be, I was awestruck because not only was I in front of those people, but I was around these people that were like, and I'd only been in this band a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, less than a year, since fucking November.
Yeah.
And before a year's over, I'm on stage with these guys. So that's up to that point. And then
can I go back to
absolutely
when you're recording the album and you get Bob Rock, and most people will say that that's when they kind of realized that Bob Rock was like the man. Were you apprehensive about the direction of the songs? Because I mean, with the Zeppelin comparisons that would end up coming, did you guys realize that while you were recording?
No. And the reason why is because I thought the songs stood on their own.
Yeah.
Even if I thought, wow, that sounds like Zeppelin, I was a Zeppelin fan. So I wasn't going to go, hey, that sounds like too much Zeppelin. I would say, hey, that doesn't sound like Zeppelin enough. Let's
okay.
scream a little more, Lenny.
Okay. Awesome.
You know what I mean? No one even thought about like, are we going to be compared?
Okay.
But we knew we did sound like it. We didn't know it was going to be such a big deal.
Okay.
Like with the critics and all that stuff.
Okay.
And then you can get into some questions about that. But so the first single, I'm backtracking before we went on the tour, because some people, the promoters, they had to have us on the roster for some reason. So the album shipped gold before it was even released. So that was the first time any album had ever done that. Now, since then, there's been many.
Sure.
But at the time, it actually shipped over 500,000 units. And based on the Get It On single being played on KLOS and KNAC, those, and we're in LA, and then it spread to other, what do you call them? AAA stations, like A's and B's, and like Detroit was one, and I don't know, New York, whatever, big stations.
Yep,
had a lot of influence. So Chicago was another one. So they were playing our song there, and that's what they saw. Wow, this band's already sold 500,000. Let's get a new young band on the roster. So that's how that came about. It wasn't like they just heard us
right.
hallway one way.
I heard, and this could be false, but I heard that there was someone playing the Get It On single without IDing it as Kingdom Come, and that there was people saying, "Holy shit, Zeppelin is back."
That's
and
true.
That kind of created a wave of
that. You're right. That's exactly what happened. I'm not sure. I think it was in LA here, KNAC or KLOS, one of the top rock stations. I think they did this. They put it on and they said, call in and see if you can tell us who this was. Okay. And that's when we realized, oh, we really do sound like Zeppelin. And I hope it doesn't, I hope it's a good thing. I always thought of it as a good thing. It's like being compared to the Beatles. Like, who would say, oh shit, we sound like the Beatles, man. Right. We suck.
Of course.
So they were my big influence anyway, and so
Sure.
I was down with all of it.
Did you, because you guys were kind of brought together pretty quickly, like did you guys all get along on that first tour, or are you guys like, yes, it's all
Well, Lenny
like
being German, we had a little bit of conflict in just the I should say the traditions and just the
sure,
culture or whatever.
right,
So Danny and Johnny, they knew each other before they got in the band,
yep,
and I was friends with James. So when we were on the road, they two gravitated, and then I and James gravitated to each other, and then Lenny was out there. He was always trying to I'll say this, get laid, and so was the bass player. So they kind of formed a separate little grouping, subgrouping. So
okay,
they do things that we were like, okay. I mean, it's not like we didn't enjoy women and the company and all that, but
right,
they would go to like they'd get home and we'd be like wiped out. They go, let's go to the strip club, man. And I go, huh? I go, no. Anyway, I mean, we'd go sometimes, but I'm saying if it's late, I mean, they'd go
sure,
out of the way, sometimes showing
right,
back at 5 a.m.
right.
Yeah. Do you play? Did you ever? I can't remember.
Nope, nope. I never, and I went to college to become a teacher, and I
Yeah.
was just, oh, but I was always obsessed with music. I was in the military for 22 years,
Wow.
deployed. I was in Iraq in '03,
Oh shit.
Kosovo in '09, and
Wow.
and then I taught high school English for 12 years. And in 2 years ago, I was like, you know what? So I coach basketball at a basketball
I
academy,
remember you
but
saying,
I do that part time. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start this podcast. I'm going to take, then I got this radio gig. So I do music and then I do basketball.
that's cool.
Yeah.
God, you think about all the time that from 90, whenever we met, what
Yeah.
year, excuse me, what year was it?
95, I'm sure.
Okay, that's 30 years. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
did all that stuff in between.
Oh, I know. I know. I mean,
You
yeah,
think
it
about
was,
like 12 years teaching, serve in the military, Iraq war, this, that. It's
yeah.
like, what?
Well, so I did a video about like, I was a huge Warrant fan. And when I really got, because I saw you guys so much during the
Right,
time that you were in the band, because you guys, you'd play smaller clubs and things, so you
right, right.
got to hang out with you guys and stuff. So
I,
anyway, like
yeah,
I went through my own alcohol issues,
right.
and it was when I was in Iraq in '03 and my life had kind of fallen. I dropped out of college. I was working at a bar. So I
Yeah.
went to Iraq with the Army National Guard. And it was when I was over there, I was like, you better get your shit together because if you die here, you never did. So I got home and got sober. Then I went back to college and
Wow.
got my teaching degree. So anyway, it's not about me, but
Awesome.
that's
That's awesome.
what happened.
Well,
So
thank you for your service.
no, I thank you, man. And like I said, it was you guys, you were so awesome to me back in those days. And I was just like, that's when you guys kind of became my band because,
Yeah.
well, and I had
Yeah,
Stronger
you
Now tattooed. I mean, that kind of,
awesome. I
so,
had that's so funny because we're not even up to the Warrant days. We're still
yep,
we're still talking about Kingdom Come.
I know, but
Dude, this is not a lie. I had to because I knew I was going to be on the show with you, and I had to listen to the albums in
oh,
case because I never listened to them. I mean,
sure,
I probably haven't listened to them in 10 years.
right,
It's
right.
just one of those things that it did, and
What was it like for you? I mean, like,
when I heard him, it
yeah,
was today. I listened to him. I was going, "Shit, that was pretty good." And I heard something else. I go, "I don't remember doing that. I don't remember playing that." What
right,
the hell? I'm like, because again, 30 years, but
yeah,
still, even I mean, Bo Hill did that record with
yeah,
us, and it wasn't like we were partying during that time. I just didn't remember because it's such a long time
yeah,
span. It
yeah,
wasn't that my brain was foggy or anything.
yeah,
So anyway, where were we? So all the cultural differences
yeah,
with Lenny. So
yep,
Lenny, we got along. Everybody got along as a group, but we also had our individual people that we hung with
sure, sure,
because we were all really different.
yeah.
The connection was the music, but what he liked was not what I mean. He was like Steeler fan. I was Bengal. I mean, just it's just all over the place. But it worked. It worked.
On the Monsters of Rock tour, like, what is the relationship like with the bands? like you got Metallica, and people would say like Dawkins,
Yeah.
Metallica was stealing the show. What was the relationship like on that tour?
Yeah. Well, some of the bands, the bigger bands like Van Halen and Scorpions, were more insulated,
Yeah.
meaning it wasn't like they were hanging out, at the
Right.
sound booth like I was listening to other bands, or
Yeah.
backstage, like drink. They had their own thing going on, or different rooms that were cordoned off.
Right.
Every once in a while, the promoter would throw a party like on the top floor of the Hyatt, where all the bands and special guests were there.
Yeah.
This is a good story. So I'd met Eddie, just walk, you're backstage. So hey Eddie, can I do a picture with you? And I'm in the band. I'm on stage, but I'm more admired by, admired him more than
Yeah.
being in front of all those people. So anyway, little things like that. How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. So I brought this girl, and she wasn't just a slime ball like pickup. She was a friend that was a pretty girl, and I dated her before all these bands and everything back in Louisville. So we were in Chicago, and we were at the Hyatt, this top floor. It's packed. All the musicians are there from every band, and I'm sitting there talking. Maybe a couple other musicians, I don't remember. And Eddie walks up to me and goes, "Hey, dude, wow, Eddie came over to me. What's going on?" "Oh, hey, how's it going?" "Oh, good, good, good." Yeah, small talk, right? And he goes, "What's your name?" Talking to my girl, and I go, "Oh, this is Julie. This is Eddie." And thank God, she didn't know Eddie from Schmetty. She wasn't. She wasn't a Van Halen fan, right? She was just there because I was there, and and he was. The only reason he came over to talk to me was to hit on my girl. I was like, fuck. But, I could see where he was headed with it. And she was like, and she'd look at me like, yeah, like he'd say something. And she like, what am I supposed to say? I don't know what you're talking about. She just didn't. She's very pretty, but just wasn't raised on that kind of music. So I thought, well, Eddie loves me now, but no, didn't really
Were you kind of like, hey, go with Eddie and that'll make me look good? I'm just kidding.
I didn't think about that at all, but maybe Eddie would have owed me one.
Right. Exactly.
Let me get on stage with you guys.
Right.
Replay eruption. Let me show him.
Oh, that's awesome. And this is off topic, but thank you. I mean, there are no interviews with you online. Or very, very few. The occasional short, like, before a show, but like.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the reasons they would always, in Kingdom Come, it was always Lenny and the lead guitar player.
Yeah.
And then in Warrant, it was Jani and one of the original members, like usually Jani and Jerry.
Yeah.
And then occasionally they would be busy, or I would do one with James. But I've done several, I did some during the Wild Horses days. And
or I guess I kind of mean like over the last 10 years, like on YouTube, like.
Oh, no one cares about me.
Oh, well, I don't want it to come. I mean, I do. Shoot.
I'm just saying, it's like, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's like,
no. Well,
they don't know my history, and they probably don't. I was that guy over there. He wasn't the guy over there.
I bet this interview gets a lot of views, because I think you'd be surprised at how many people want to know about your history. So anyway,
well, see, because you were there, you know me.
Right.
You knew, but most people that were at the shows, they probably don't remember who I was or whatever. That's okay. I mean, it's fine. Doesn't bother me at all.
After Monsters of Rock, you guys went out with Scorpions, and what happened on that tour?
Well, it was going great until Lenny's German and the band's German, right? So you get a couple German, stubborn bullheads together.
Yeah.
my mom used to say hard heads, like the Dutch head of yours. Um, um, but they would something about using the warm-up band or the opener is not supposed to use certain equipment or stage gear or props or stuff.
Yep.
And Lenny started walking up on the steps and the elevated, platforms and all this shit. They was saved for Klaus, right? And so they just developed bad blood, and then they kicked us off the tour at some point. I mean, we made it through a couple of tours. We did more than one tour with them.
Yeah.
So I don't remember which one. Obviously, it wasn't the first one we got kicked off because we had, but at some point in the middle of the second tour or third, a tour meeting like 6 weeks tops.
Right.
So we're in the bus and plane or whatever. So so we were kicked off in the middle of one of those, based on Lenny's, getting crazy.
Were you guys? I mean, were you pissed, or were you like, dude, what are you doing there? Or
well, yeah, you could say that, and he would just say, "Fuck them," They've been talking German. You guys better stand up behind, stand up for us.
Okay.
Well, I don't even know, I wasn't gonna. He really was into being loyal to him, even though if he could be totally wrong, he wanted that loyalty thing, and that wasn't how I grew up. I was like, no, dude, you're being an asshole.
Right.
But there was more behind the scenes than I know because the manager kept us away from it.
Sure.
But I know it was enough to piss the Scorpions off. And then, I can't remember after that. We toured with Black Sabbath for a while.
Was that on the second album? Was that on In Your Face, the Sabbath?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think so. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly then we started we were big enough to start headlining club dates. So we started doing that kind of thing.
Sure.
Instead of being a warm-up band or for other bands. So, but yeah, was there a band I missed? Let me look on the wall. No. Oh yeah. Lead
Well, we're going to get to, I was going to ask this. Okay. So obviously you're like, hey, it's a compliment to be told you sound like Led Zeppelin.
Right.
But, and I think you kind of said, you didn't think it was going to become the big deal. It became a big deal. When that started to happen, did that wear on you guys? Like,
I'll tell you why it became a big deal, because Lenny didn't like to be compared to them. He goes, because, you ripped off Zeppelin. So if someone said that to me, I would say, wow, I didn't know I was that good. Thank you. And it would end. And Lenny was like, what do you mean? We got our own thing. I mean, and then sometimes he would deny the influence of Zeppelin. And I said, dude, I'd tell our manager, because I couldn't approach him sometimes. When he was hot-headed, he was hot-headed.
sure.
So I go, you can't deny that you weren't influenced by Zeppelin. And then, because Danny Stagg played a lot like Page.
Yeah.
And then James played a lot like Bonham.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have 3/4 of the sound, and then with all the effects and the all the
Right.
the little screams that he does and the riffs. I mean, come on, it's Zeppelin.
Right.
So that's what it started. So the interviewers or the press or the back then there was Spin on magazines, Metal Slut, or Metal Edge, or
Metal Edge, yeah.
some other ones. I don't know. The ones that those
Hit
rag
Parader, Circus,
all those. So they'd all want to get an interview with you, and plus the radio people and just magazines you never even heard of. A lot from Japan and all that. We were big in Japan, by the way. We played there anyway. So him denying that, and then Danny was kind of ticked off. And I think they misquoted him as saying he's never heard Jimmy Page play.
Yep.
He's tried to clear that up several times, but it just once that's out, everybody's just like, you're going to run with it.
Right.
And so the first question, it ended up being the management would have to tell the interviewing people, don't bring up Zeppelin.
Right.
And then we go, Oh, okay, sure. We won't bring up Zeppelin. You know, turn the knife. Let's dig in there. Let's get a reaction. It's just like politics today, right? So they bring it up, and I've seen him like storm out, and then they would have something more to write about. It just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed. So that's why I turned negative. If he'd only said, we sound like Zeppelin. God damn, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Here's a beer.
Right.
It would have
Right.
just nipped it right there. But he got so defensive about it. So anyway.
So in the conversations going into In Your Face, was that part of like, hey guys, we gotta, because it's definitely a change
Right.
on album.
No, it was just that there was more input from the rest of the band. It wasn't because Lenny was the more Zepp guy, and
Yep.
I was just more of just rock and roll.
Yeah.
But you can hear the Zepp mostly, through his voice.
Yeah.
But like, Do You Like It? That doesn't sound like a Zeppelin song.
Exactly.
But there are elements you can hear, it sounds like Zeppelin, but it's not nearly like the first album. But it wasn't by design. It wasn't like, oh, we can't do that again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Like you said, the debut went gold. You got the Monsters of Rock tour. Are you guys like, fucking A, this second album is gonna be the one that blows us up?
I swear to God, really, we didn't think like that. We just said we need to do a second album. It wasn't like we were hoping that it would be as successful as the first one.
Sure.
But it wasn't like we were feeling the pressure, like it's got to meet those same standards.
Okay.
But so yeah, I don't know how long we worked on that record, pre-production. I don't mean recording it.
Right.
I don't know, a couple months.
Did you guys was the
Yeah,
right?
we get in the room and someone say, I'm stuck here, and what do you think? Or
right.
Someone, you'd go home and then come back. I thought of an idea for that part, and
Sure.
then it's been that way pretty much all my records that I've done with Warrant and Wild Horses and whatever.
Yeah.
That it's kind of there's some people that contribute more, obviously. Yeah.
Of course.
Some people that just sit there and listen and go, oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah. Because they're not everybody's creative. It's just they're in a band, doesn't mean they're creative. And I'm not naming names or anything. I'm just saying it was just that way. Yeah. So that was fun, kind of, bantering back and forth with riffs and whatever. So, but the second album, I know you're going to get to this, so I'll just beat you to the point.
Go ahead.
So the second album was going fairly well. We got compared. Well, this doesn't sound like no. Now it doesn't sound like Zeppelin. Now we're being criticized because it doesn't. Yeah. So Lenny did some crazy ass stuff on that tour. It's a small world of bookers and promoters across the country. They all know each other and they all talk. Yeah. So Lenny would cancel gigs just out of being irritated by something. There's one gig in West Virginia. It was like an afternoon thing. We were opening for Warrant. We played together. Yes. And I knew the guys, but I didn't know them like at that point really well. Yeah. So we drove up. The girls it was summer. The girls were taking their tops off. And Janie out there cussing, motherfuckers. And, oh, let's see some tits, man. Egging them on and throwing fucking beer and all that. Everything that we didn't do. Right. Everything that we didn't do. They were a party band. What it was. Yeah. So we're pulling up and going, God, this is going to be great. And something with our publicist happened to be on this particular run with us. And she said, he said something to her and he complained about something. And I was in another room. By then, with the bus, and then there's these room not buses, but catering rooms.
Yep.
Hard, like I'm like a mobile home,
like trailers
and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for that.
Yep.
So we were in there, and all I heard was screaming, and and her going, "You can't do this, Lenny." She was English. "You can't do this, Lenny. You're going to ruin your career." And he goes, "I don't care. Turn this bus around. We're getting out of here." And that was like the third one he did.
Okay.
The other ones I didn't know about because he canceled them a little bit further in advance. But he did. It was something that teed him off.
Okay.
And we left that beautiful afternoon in a park party,
yeah,
and went back to the hotel room, and we're all like dumbfounded.
Okay.
And I remember I never really said much to Lenny about that because it was hard he was not very approachable, and he was very stuck on his ways and what he was thinking about and all that.
Sure.
Well, dude, we can't do that. He goes, "Sure we can." See what I mean? You right away, he shoots you. Like, he didn't say, "Well, what do you mean?" Like, "Sure we can," and we did. And it's like, where do you go from there?
Right.
I mean, nothing I can say at that point.
Right.
And they can't do this to us. And I'm thinking, well, they can do it to us because we're not freaking Van Halen. We're just Kingdom Come on our second album. Come on, dude.
Right.
So then he did a few more weird things. And then I remember after a gig in Cincinnati, James had enough of him. I mean, to be quite blunt, it was just his antics. And again, I don't want to be that specific, but you got the vibe. He was just hard to get along with. I think it was culture in German, the language. I don't know what it was.
Yep.
He goes, James told me, he said, "I'm quitting the band." I go, "Dude, we have a European tour set up for like going to be 10 weeks. This is like going to happen in 2 or 3 weeks."
Yeah.
We were just finished that. I think the Cincinnati gig was our last gig.
Okay.
That's when he told me, he goes, I think I'm going to quit." And then I go, "Fuck, I don't want to go out." That was my anchor. That was the person I could glob onto.
Yeah.
And he was going to leave me.
Yeah.
Like some chick. But I felt like I can't deal with this other group of people I don't have anything in common with. Well,
Right.
you know what I mean.
Right.
Basically, but at Lenny, he was like my insulating factor. We could go together as a group and kind of
Right.
bring up on him or whatever, make decisions. Like, yeah, like he'd say something, I go, "Yeah, that's a good idea," and then Lenny would go, "Okay." But if it was just him, he would not necessarily accept it. Or if it was just me going, and James would go, "Oh yeah, let's try it, Lenny. Let's try." You know what I mean? So it took the two of us to get, maneuver through the whole procedure there.
Sure.
So he goes, I've already ideas about getting another band together. I go, "Okay, well, let me think about this." So by the next day, I told him I was going to quit as well. I was going to leave with them. Now, which was really stupid on the management part. We finally told them we couldn't wait much longer because we had a tour lined up.
Yep.
We told the management that we were quitting. And he goes, you can't, we got this and this. And he even had the vice president of Polygram call James and I up and try to talk us into it. And I'd say, "James, I'll do it if you do, but I'm not doing it if you don't."
Right.
So James was pretty adamant. He goes, I remember Lars from Metallica talking to me like how good a drummer he was. He goes, and he didn't know him. This kid was out of Louisville, just all of a sudden on state. He's going, "That drummer is awesome." And he knew that he was,
in demand,
of the best.
Yeah.
I mean, James knew about himself that he didn't need to be in this situation.
Right.
So that's, he said, "I can do," he didn't say it, but I know he's thinking, "I can do better and I don't need to put up with all this crap. I can be happier and be in just in a better situation. And I won't have a problem finding a gig."
Right.
He knew how good he was. So anyway,
was he kind of encouraging you like, "Hey, let's me and you"?
No, not really. He said, "Do what you want to do."
Okay.
He said, "But if you quit, I got a plan for us."
Okay.
Because he thought I was a better league, not better than Danny, just I was as good as Danny, but in a different style. So he said, you're on stage, you're not doing your full potential. But I played keyboards too. So that's what helped me, but anyway, he knew I'd played lead all my life,
Yeah.
up until Kingdom Come.
Right.
So I was called the backup guy. We did double lead stuff, but it wasn't like I was shredding or able to just freely just anyway. So like I said, I decided to move on with him. And the management, instead of keeping mom and getting two new guys, so the album was selling, right?
Yeah.
And so the management announces that we broke up. Instead of like, even if we weren't the original guys, just shut up. If the tour got canceled, don't tell everybody. And then I remember like a week later seeing it on MTV. It just Kingdom Come is just broke. We just heard Kingdom Come broke up. So who's buying the records now? There's no reason. I mean, it's like, dude,
Right.
Why would you tell everybody that we broke up?
Did you talk to before you actually said, okay, we're out? Did you talk to Jane, or did you talk to Lenny? Excuse me. Did Lenny try to, come on, guys, try to work it out, or?
No, he kind of knew, because our management team was kind of like talking to him. It wasn't like we had to talk. They'd explain, and he kind of knew it didn't feel right. And he didn't seem happy either, because we weren't happy. I mean, you could feel that. It's like, and we were always bitching about something because he was being the way he was, and it looked like, why are you guys always bitching? So he was probably happy to get rid of us too.
Right.
Get the fuck out. Anyway, so then that was the genesis for the Wild Horses thing.
Okay.
Right after that was our project after the Kingdom Come thing.
I was gonna ask this. Like, I mean, on that Warrant tour, did you get to know those guys at all? Is that kind of what started the relationship that would build
Right. Right. Yes. Well, that's after. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yes, you're right. Let me back up. So while we were co-headlining, so one night they would headline, the next gig we'd headline, and here's really funny. I go, God damn, their bus after their show, it'd be like, a crowd of chicks just around there, right at the door, and they're signing autographs, hot looking chicks, and we'd look at outside our door, and they were all guys. I'm like, what the fuck is this all about? But we knew why. I mean, it was just like Zeppelin wasn't like we weren't doing cherry pie, and
right.
I mean, we weren't.
Right.
I always thought of Warrant as like a very poppy band.
Sure.
I loved them, but they were what they weren't like a Zeppelin Kingdom Come thing. Totally different vibe. So we attracted the guys, and they got the women. So through the course of that, I'd talk to Janie and blah blah, and I knew him, but it's not. I mean, we'd go like to bars after shows together. And it's not like I'd go to, I don't know. It wasn't like I'd call him up and say, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" Or it was just when we were together, we were together. It was that was so. He wanted to do a solo record. This was after, so I got to skip ahead. We'll come back to the Wild Horses if you want, but so he contacted Shea Baby. He was an engineer producer that worked for Keith Olsen. So he got in contact with him and said, I want to do a solo record. I don't know. I don't remember how they knew each other. And Shea had worked with me on the first Kingdom Come record. He goes, you should be playing lead. I go, dude, just be quiet. So Shea and I remained friends. And so he goes, well, do you have a band? He goes, no, but I got a demo. And he goes, let me put a band together around you. He goes, I know Rick Steier. And he goes, I know Rick Steier. And he goes, James Kottak. He goes, I know James. We toured together. And then we hired another bass player and a keyboard player. Can't remember his name. You know his name. Who played with us on stage? Dave White.
Dave White. Yeah.
So anyway, so we got together and go, hey man, what's happening? And we listened to the songs, and we did a 4-song demo, and he liked what I did because I didn't just come in and say, "What do you got?" and then just duplicate what he did. I said, "Hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that?" So he thought, "Wow, I have some creative ideas that," because they were a little dated sounding.
Yeah.
Two of the songs are on the record from Ultrafocus.
On
Originally
Ultrafocus.
his demos.
Okay.
I don't know if
Is this when he left Warrant in '93?
when who left Warrant?
When Jani left
Oh
Warrant?
no, he was still in Warrant.
When you did these demos?
Right, he was still in the band.
Okay.
And I don't know, did he leave? This was '94 when I reconnected with him. So late '93. I never knew he left the band. He was always saying, "I don't need you guys." I mean, he kind of didn't, because it was the Jani Lane show and he was writing all the stuff. So when we got together to work on a solo album, we did the 4-song demo and kept in touch. And then I don't know how much longer, not much longer. Stephen Sweet and Joey
Allen.
They were kicked out of the band. They just didn't leave. I don't know why. Still this day, I was confused. They go, "Well, they done it." It didn't make sense to me because I thought they all fit together well. Especially Steven. He was really mild mannered guy and just doing his job, pretty quiet, just staying back, getting out of everybody's way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so again, Jani knew me from James, so I'll call James and let him work it first, see if he's fit. They didn't want to bring us both in at the same time. Okay. So I don't know why, but whatever reason. So I said, "How'd it go?" And I go, "It went great. I got the gig. Now you got to do it." And I go, "Okay, well, that's not a big deal." They said, "Here's the 4 songs you got to learn." And I said, "Okay." And then I showed up and then we even kind of like jammed around on one of the solo album songs, which the rest of the band didn't know, but I knew it. I remember, so we kind of we just bonded there, and that was how we got into the Warrant situation. Okay. Yeah. So I think, real quick, I'm going to look at two of the songs that were on his original solo thing. They were just acoustic, and they were full on recorded. It was Some of One and High.
Okay.
Those two.
Okay.
Anyway, so we reworked them to make it more of a bigger sound production and a band vibe.
If it's okay, I would like to talk about Wild Horses, and then if we can get back to Warrant, if that's all right. Yeah. And so like after Kingdom Come, you and James are like, "All right, we're gonna do this new project."
Yeah.
And I mean, tell me about like that being built and getting the deal, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. So remember, Keith Olsen did Kingdom Come's second record.
Yep.
So he loved James. I mean, I was there, but he loved James as a drummer. Let's just make sure we understand that.
Right.
So James contacted him and said, "I'm putting together something with, I'm getting a guy from Louisville, Johnny Edwards, to sing. He's a great songwriter. And I used to play with this bass player from Louisville. And then Rick Steier. We're all kind of Louisville guys. And so he goes, yeah, he said, you can use my studio to do a demo. And Shay Baby was working for him at the time. Yeah. So he said, Shay will just do it and I'll listen to it later. And we did a showcase. Sorry. Remember showcases? Jesus. Yep. We did a showcase before the demos.
Okay.
Where Keith was there and a couple other people. And he liked it, but he said, I'm not the record deal people. And he goes, then we'll do a demo and then we'll present it to whoever.
Yep.
So, we went in with Shay. Keith popped his head in every once in a while, but mostly Shay and I would in the mornings. And so Johnny Edwards,
Yep.
before this demo got made, like I say, you wouldn't think this. LA is a small town, but sometimes it is. He got an offer to join Foreigner.
Yeah.
And we're like, what? He's not that kind of singer. He's not like Lou Graham. What the fuck? Like, I've been waiting. Like, not many people. I mean, I knew he could sing, but
How did they
I don't
find
know.
out about Johnny Edwards?
I don't know. And James thought so highly of Johnny Edwards that he was devastated when he said, he goes, "You gonna stay and make this happen?" He goes, "No, I'm gonna go join Foreigner."
Right.
James was devastated. He goes,
Okay.
"All right, the offer still holds. We just got to find a singer." And the bass player, he didn't want to hang out. In other words, everything was too up in the air. And he was in Louisville. He didn't move out here. He just came out,
Okay.
joined the band, like to see what was going to happen. And now that Johnny left, who was a good friend of his, he's going, "Well, I don't really, I'm not going to just hang around for months waiting for you guys to get a singer and all." He goes, "I'm out of here." So now we had to find a bass player and a singer. So I don't really know the connection. We sent out, I think maybe because they didn't have the online stuff. We didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
So I think it was like the Music Connection or some sort of weird thing that went nationally or something. So this kid out of Boston, John Levesque. So we had tried some singers out, and so he goes, "Well, let's try this guy out from Boston," and he ended up working out. I don't want to go through every little bit of tidbit. Yeah. So he ended up working out, and then we still made the demo with me on bass, just because it was a demo.
Sure.
Because we didn't have a bass player.
Yep.
And we presented to Keith, and he goes, "Okay, this sounds good." We had 4 songs. He goes, "I'm not a record company, but I'll help you guys out the best of my ability." So he took it to Atlantic, and blah blah blah. Short story, we got signed to Atlantic. So we're all excited. We start recording. We still didn't have a bass player. So guess who do you know who we brought in to play bass?
I don't.
Jeff Pilson.
Oh shit! I did know that. I did know that. Okay.
Now he was still with Doc, and this was before where he got into World's Greatest Cover Band. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So he wasn't really one to join the band, but he was there. He's not like the flashiest bass player, but he's solid. Like James is just, and they were right in the pocket. They knew how to play together and make it
right.
So we did the record and got released. Cool Me Down was like the first song, our first release back when radio and guys in Detroit liked us, and Salt Lake City, that was a big number 2 station or 1 station. Yeah. Anyway, we were getting some airplay. So this is around the beginning of 92.
The album came out in August of 91.
Okay, good. So, right. Somewhere in there is when we started playing out.
Yep.
So, you know what happened in 92, right?
Well, if you're
Grunge.
talking about grunge happening, yeah.
So, and I forgot about this. Before we recorded the record, Keith Olsen, because that's where we were going to record it at Goodnight LA. So Keith goes, "Oh, I can't pass up. I got to do the Scorpions." And this was early 91, before grunge.
Yep.
Like, okay, we'll wait a year or whatever long it takes, 6 months. Because he got us the deal, and he wanted to do it and whatever. So they put out that album with Tease Me.
Yep.
Now, they were right on the edge of the grunge.
That's right.
Can you imagine if that album came out, Tease Me, Please Me, like right when Soundgarden's doing, Black Hole Sun,
Yeah.
Tease Me,
Right.
Now it was a good little poppy song, but the whole album was 80s sounding,
Yes.
which and grunge came in. So we were right up against Scorpions ending their recording, and right up against Nirvana. So we were squeezed right in there. And
that 6 months or a year could have been a big deal for you guys.
That's what I've told everybody. I go, if we hadn't been pushed, because the guy from Atlantic said, God, I hear like 8 hit songs off this record.
Yeah.
8 out of 12 or 10, 11, whatever.
Yeah.
And they were so excited.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, when our stuff started playing, grunge was seeping in. They started overlapping, and then how it went before. Yeah. It matter of a couple months, every '80s band was just dropped.
Yeah,
we'll just drop, and you know what? I kind of see it. Like a lot of my contemporaries out here that were in bands that got dropped or couldn't understand the grunge. I said, look, we're all starting to sound the same. We're all talking about getting laid and getting drunk, after the show. What are we going to do? Go to the strip club. We're all starting to look alike. We wear headbands and the same clothes. I said, it can't last forever like that. It's going to break. It's just not. I mean, I didn't foresee it. I just, in retrospect, I was saying this.
Right.
I was like, guys, it really makes sense. People were ready for something fresh. Nirvana, the cover of their CD, everybody in the 80s bands were posing and, piercing their lips and had the makeup, hairspray. And these guys were like, they weren't even looking at the camera. When I think Kurt Cobain was pointing at, I don't know, whatever, one of the guys in the band, I don't know, what's his name?
Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl, like just pointing at him, like laughing. They're not even looking. That was their cover, their insert picture for the band.
Right.
Like no pretentiousness at all. It was just like, and then the songs were so different. Like Teen Spirit, remember that? When I first heard that, I was like, that doesn't sound like Unskinny Bop or that's pretty different, I think.
So did you like it? Like when that started?
I did. I really did like it. And I thought, well, we deserve this because I can see we were shoving this same sound. It was so easy to write a rock song back then because you just 3 chords and had a bridge and then a chorus. Think all those 80s bands, Steel Heart. I mean, not that I know the guy singer, but I'm just saying they one-hit wonders, like anyway. So the Atlantic dropped us, and that's where we're kind of like, what now? So this is what, 92? Yeah, maybe late 92, because it took a while for them to say, you guys aren't what we're looking for now.
Right.
So then the Warrant thing with Janie popped up.
So Janie did leave Warrant. They started the Dog Eat Dog came out in 92.
Right.
They only made it 31 shows. I saw one of them in Fargo. They made it 31 shows. He left. And that caused a huge bunch of financial turmoil for the band because they did not finish that tour. Like Brockham, the merchandising deal.
Yes.
All this came.
They advanced them like $500,000.
Exactly.
It's big money.
And I'm sorry but the band was like, you fucking, all we had to do is finish this tour.
That sounds like Kingdom Come.
So Janie, so the tour ends, Janie leaves, and that's why I wanted to, because I wasn't sure if he left or he was just doing a solo. Now that you say that was the impetus for doing the solo thing, because he wasn't doing Warren anymore. Yes.
Yeah. But I never really got that, because one of our rehearsals at Janie's house was Jerry came by so I thought, well, they're still on good terms. I mean,
Okay.
Jerry didn't say like, I mean, why was Jerry there for one if he was
Right.
if with the band? So I really didn't know a lot about it.
Sure.
Maybe I did. Maybe I just kind of put it out of my mind. Maybe it wasn't something I was
Sure.
thinking of. But now it makes sense what you're saying. That was the reason the solo thing came up.
Yep.
So that now we're all back to
Yep.
everything's meeting together here. So,
So
after Wild Horses, now we're connecting back up
Yep.
with Jamie.
It-
And then the story I already told how I got in Warrant.
yes.
We're at that point now.
Yes.
I'm in
So-
Warrant.
So he was gonna try to get a record deal. It didn't pan out. And
Right.
apparently that's, you're part of that.
Right.
So he goes back to Warrant in 94. The first thing or that I can find of you and Warrant, maybe you've seen it, there's at Jani Lane Sunset Strip, there's a 30-minute show. On YouTube, it says 1993, but I think it might be 94. You're
Wait.
on guitar.
Is this in LA?
No, it's in Janie's club in Florida.
Oh, okay. I remember playing there. Yeah.
Yep.
But I remember playing there before 94.
I mean, yeah, it
You
says
sure
on
it was-
YouTube 93, but I think it's 94.
Okay. That makes
And
sense.
Jerry's on bass and Eric's on guitar and
Yeah.
you and James are in the band.
James was playing drums.
Yep.
So yeah. So you're right. I guess Janie came back to the fold, and then because I knew we did the 4-song demo.
Yeah.
And then Janie kind of just disappeared, and I didn't know what was going on. And then that's when I heard later James say, "Hey, they want a Shea Baby said,
Okay. What
Anyway.
what did anything happen with those other songs? You said 2 of them ended up on Ultraphobic.
Yeah, I don't even remember what the other 2 were.
Okay. Sure.
They may have. I really don't remember.
Sure.
May
No,
have
that's
they may have ended up on.
Belly to Belly or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
So when you join the band and like, okay, so then you get you and James, and then it's the other guy. Like and maybe you don't remember it. But like, what was the relationship like with the band after? I mean, grunge is happening. They've had all this turmoil. Are people getting along or?
You mean the band?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean they had already felt the the weight of this whole grunge thing.
Yep.
I wasn't around where they were just going, what's going on? They had already felt it because they were starting to play clubs.
Yep.
They weren't doing arenas anymore.
Yep.
So when we came in, they had already suffered through their mental whatever adaptation to the whole situation. So,
Right.
and I was like, hey, I'm in a band. I was like, I didn't care. Grunge, let's play. Cherry pie it is, baby. So you know what I mean? It was just a breath of fresh air. There it came out.
Okay.
So just to be in a band again.
Okay.
And like before, we toured with them, so James and I knew them. So it wasn't like strangers.
Sure.
So
do you remember like what was it like record Bo Hill did Ultraphobic?
Right. So Janie and I would get together a lot on the bus because we were played before we had a record deal. The record deal was some off-brand out of North Carolina.
EMC.
Yes, out of North Carolina.
EMC.
Right. So we couldn't even get a record deal. And this guy was signing all the 80s bands. He was smart. He didn't know. I mean, he kind of knew this shit's going to come back at some point.
Yeah.
All these albums are gonna, he's a multimillionaire now, but he signed the band and whatever. But before the band even thought about doing a record, we had to fit in and we had to gel. And so during days off, or not every day off, but after shows, Janie and I would work on songs together.
Okay.
Then when we were off the road, I would go to his house and work on songs together.
Okay.
So I don't even know if the credits are on the record anymore, but you'll see my name on most of those songs.
Yep.
From Ultraphobic. Now, and another thing, I tried to say, okay, Janie, I don't want to take away from what Warrant is, but I said we have to update our sound a little bit.
Okay.
It's not Cherry Pie Days anymore. It's just not.
Right.
And you can tell, I mean, most people could. A lot of people hated the record because it didn't sound like Warrant, the old Warrant. And that was probably mostly my fault. I either took the blame or took the praise. I didn't care. I felt like I saw what Doggy Dog, people were writing lyrics and methodically like dun 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 dun. Like Pearl Jam, their lyrics were dun 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 all over the place. It wasn't like set like little cadence things.
Right.
And I said the music's weird, and so as you probably noticed, it doesn't sound like any of the previous albums.
Right.
Like I said, albeit whether people liked it or not, it is what it is. So I was trying to make it without taking away their total image and their what they stood for. I said we just get a little different sound, a little updated sound. It still didn't work enough for people because it was already too late. Warrant was that cherry pie band.
Yeah.
We could have come out and ripped the Soundgarden album, and it was still the cherry pie band. It just we never got people liked it. I think there was a review that said it was one of the best albums of the year. Some weird, magazine or something.
Kerrang magazine over in the UK gave it 5 stars.
Really?
And a lot of the reviews were good, but I think you're right. The casual fans who loved Cherry Pie probably weren't going to give it a shot regardless.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you sense that the other guys, because Dog Eat Dog hadn't sold a lot, did you sense that the other guys were like, hey, we should try to just do the party rock that they had done before?
No, because they were, I don't want to sound weird about this, but Jerry and Eric pretty much did whatever Janie's thing.
Of course.
They didn't really butt heads a lot. Like, because Janie had a proven record. Look, he wrote 2 multi-platinum albums.
Yeah.
So Doggy Dog didn't. So, but you still had the cred, right?
Yeah.
So they weren't going to like, if Janie wants to do it this way, then he probably knows what he's doing, and we're not going to say no.
Right.
But I didn't write the first 2 albums. What am I going to say? Janie, you're wrong. It just wasn't there to do that.
Right.
And I was able to convince him without, like I said, just update the stuff. I wasn't trying to take a band over. I just said, because we wrote the stuff together. So he kind of, it wasn't like I changed everything. I mean, he came up with some riffs and stuff that fit the album.
Sure.
So, and he was a great lyricist, as everybody knows. I could never write lyrics like that now. I mean, it just, or then or now, they were just great. That's like Stronger Now. It's like, it's not only because I was in that period, but it's really one of the best songs I've ever heard written. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how to, that sounds so like egotistic, but it's like one of the best songs ever written it's like up there with, Whitney Houston shit or something. I don't know.
It's tattooed on my arm. I mean,
I know, you must love it. But you know what I mean? It's got all the elements. It sounds like the Beatles, but it doesn't. He sings like a bird. He's got violins and fuck.
Is there is there a sense of, do you sense like disappointment, maybe in you or in he, that you have this song and Warrant fans universally love that song?
Right.
Made a video for it.
Yeah.
Like that it, it didn't reach the masses. Like you
was really, of all my disappointments about that album, that was the one, because I thought that's going to cross over every cultural line or every music genre line. It's going to be played on, FM stations, the road stations, rock state, whatever. It's a great song. Still is, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was disappointed about that. I thought, well, at least this, they don't like the rest of the album. At least this song will bring it, some attention back to it, because when we release it, it's going to go, everybody's going to go, wow. And they went, bow wow.
What did you think about Was everybody on board with Family Picnic being the first single?
That was picked by the label.
Okay.
I couldn't really,
Sure.
wasn't my favorite because it was so long and it just, really didn't like the way it was ended up being mixed. I don't know. Something about it bugs me to this day.
Sure.
It should have been more raunchy, the guitar part was too covered up with keys. I don't know, it took some of
Okay.
the roughness off of it.
Okay.
Moved it out too much. But it was too long, and then we did a video of that, and
Yep.
it just, I think other songs could have worked better.
Right.
Like Living Inside of You, I forgot all about that song.
Oh,
That's a cool riff. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, I was like, what? I don't remember doing that.
I I've said this many times on the channel. When I got it on my first listen, I was like, what the fuck did you guys do? And now that is the album that I probably listen to most. I love that album. It just
Wow.
it took a few listens to grow.
Right.
And I think High is one of the greatest ballads in that band's history.
Right on. Right
Anyway,
on. Like I said, that was one of the demo things that we just on acoustic, and we souped it up to make it a band song.
yeah.
But yeah, that's
No.
I remember writing the middle eight to that. Is that the one that goes there, 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 there?
Oh, okay. I think
That like the riff in there.
hard for me to hear it when.
Oh yeah, it's hard for me to sing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was fun. That was a fun. But again, it is what it is, and I remember like KNAC, or you've heard of KLOS and those stations.
Yep. In KNAC, yeah.
Well, they said, well, let's see, the guys, the 80s band put out a record, and they did an interview with Janie wouldn't go, Eric and Jerry, and they just slammed them. They go, what is this? Like, you think that's as good? I mean, it was so horrible the way they were treated.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people that work for magazines, they were almost like getting even. They were like, wow, it's cool. The bands that are out now look like us instead of like Bret Michaels.
Right.
Oh, we're the cool ones now.
Yeah.
Because they weren't the nerdy guy would show up, and like me, the way I look now, with the recorder is walking in and interview us, and we like hair all over the place, drinking, chick there, and they're doing an interview, and then their tables turn like, you're nothing. And they didn't mind writing about it that we were nothing, because they always felt like they weren't, you know what I mean?
Yep. Yes.
Like this competition thing. And
now you could look like the guy at the gas station and be a rock star.
Exactly. Yeah. Or Bunny Boy, or whatever his name is. Bunnyman. What's his name?
Bad Bunny.
That's it. Bunny and Geckoman.
Oh my gosh.
Echo and the Bunnyman.
On the tour, like, and I've interviewed Sean Zavadny, who played with Janie a ton. I interviewed Bobby. I've interviewed Bobby Brown and Bobby Borg, and it's no secret about Janie's drinking. Like, is the touring fun still in the ultraphobic bellied, or is it getting where it's getting out of control?
At first, it wasn't out of control because, for one, the Kingdom Come, Lenny Wolf didn't drink, and he didn't want anybody else to drink. So to me, it was like, let's party, So their drinking and their partying antics were normal to them. To me, I was like, what? You were just with another girl? Why another? Yeah, I see you with another, what? So to me, it was like, Halloween candy. And so I didn't notice anything weird about it because Janie everybody was able to drink and do their parts on stage.
Yep.
It was later when he would drink and he couldn't perform.
Yeah.
But then that wasn't always like that. It was like good performance, 3 good performances, a bad one,
Okay.
2 good ones, 2 bad ones. It wasn't consistently bad. It was
Right.
just gradually getting worse.
Right.
So I think everybody was really having a good time until remember, I left the band in 2001. So I don't even remember. I mean, I couldn't even tell you what happened after that.
Sure. Of course.
I remember Janie's, because I quit. Janie, I was talking to him during 2000, one of those shows they did with Poison or something. Didn't they redo another thing? And he was going, man, you're missing the party. And I go, well, I have a baby now, because I had a kid. It was just didn't feel. My wife was working, and I could at least be around the kid to help raise its early years and stuff. Yep. So I go, well, I'm doing what I'm doing. And he's going, yeah, man, I started doing blow again. Because I'd never seen him do it, since I'd met him, because he said, I used to be a cokehead. And Jerry and Eric would confirm that and say, oh, yeah, he was all. So for like 3 years, 4, 5, 6 years, I never seen him do it. Yeah, from 93, whatever, to 2001, right? So I never seen, and he's going, yeah, there's a picture of Mr. Pink Hair himself back here from Unskinny Bop. CC the video, CC, yeah. And he was a coke guy too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they were on tour together, so they were doing all that. I wasn't around for any of that, but he told me, it wasn't like hearsay. He actually, so I don't know. It must have gotten really, really bad. And I knew, I didn't know. I was just saying, God, if he continues like this.
Right.
So it was going to be a little weird.
What happened? Because did James recorded Ultraphobic? Yes. Well, what was he? Was he kicked out, or did he just leave?
No. Everything's connected. So he got it. Remember, he did Keith Olsen did the Scorpions record, right?
Yep.
So, and he did that demo. He did our record, Wild Horses.
Yep.
So, Herman Rarebell, the drummer for them.
Herman.
They were doing that record with Tease Me.
Yep.
And he, Keith was a stickler for time. You had to play in time. Even with a metronome, he said, dude, he's not cutting it. He goes, let me bring in this kid. Not to join the band, just to do the tracks on the record. Just let me do it. I'm the producer. This is what I want.
Yeah.
So James went in there, learned the songs, nailed it. So he was still with us. It was just a cool thing. Oh, wow, you played on the Scorpions record, right? Oh, that's awesome. So when the time came where Francis and Herman left the band, Scorpions, I don't know why or whatever, that was over there.
Right.
I called up James and said, you want to become the drummer for the Scorpions? So this was in between the 2 albums. So he didn't play did he play on the second album?
He didn't play on, I don't think he played on Belly to Belly, but I didn't think he did the Ultraphobic tour.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah, you might be right. Yeah, because Bobby Borg
came in on the Ultraphobic tour.
They were the warm up band for. They followed us around wherever Warren played. What was the name of that?
His band Left for Dead.
That's it. There you go. Jeez. Anyway, so Bobby stepped in because we stole their drummer. So I was glad for James. I mean, come on.
Oh, sure.
Scorpions,
But so him leaving Warrant was strictly just to go to Scorpions.
Yeah, there was no animosity. There was no other reason. There was no other reason.
Sure.
Yeah. So he joined them around, like you said, 94, 95.
Yeah.
And he was with them through what, 2016?
Yeah. I mean,
and that's another whole story we could get into another, because I followed him because he was my best friend.
Yeah.
So I can at some other time tell you about all that.
What follows is part 2 of my interview with Rick Steier. And there is an intro to that part 2, but I'm going to leave in a 2-minute section where Rick and I are talking about a Warrant concert in Minneapolis in 1995, I think it was, where I got pulled up on stage. So I'm just going to leave that conversation in just because I thought it was kind of interesting. So enjoy part 2 of the interview with Rick Steier.
Was that headlining us, or was it part of a festival?
You guys were headlining. It was a club show, but I mean, it was a packed club. So
interesting. Right
and
on.
so I don't know, but I'm sure I was in front, and all my buddies are like pointing at my Stronger Now tattoo.
Probably.
So somehow Lane sees it, and next thing you know, I'm up on stage, and he's pointing at it, and the spotlights.
Did he make you do a shot of tequila?
No, he goes,
Too fucking cool. I'm gonna party with you guys, cowboys. Who's we're done, okay, buddy? The guy's got a fucking Stronger Now tattoo across his fucking arm. Look at him, put the fucking spotlight. That's a man who is committed. That's a man who... You have no fucking idea, folks, what that does to you. You write a fucking song, next thing you know, you see it on somebody's fucking arm. That means the fucking world to me, brother. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, why don't you step off on the side of the stage? We're going to get you fucked up, okay?
well, he goes, that means so much to me, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, go off to the side of the stage. We're going to get you fucked up. And I remember Turner was drinking a glass of tequila on the rocks.
Oh, shit.
And he kept bringing it over to me and feeding it to me. I got so wasted that night. Anyway.
That's awesome.
It was
How did the guy just happen to run across this video you never knew existed?
Well, okay. So in the late 90s, I was at a party and a buddy of mine goes, hey, I bought a boot, and I don't know how in the late 90s because it's not, I don't think we had eBay, but he's like, I found a bootleg of a show in Minneapolis. Let's sit down and watch it, a Warrant show. And I'm like, and I didn't know what. And we're watching it, and all of a sudden I'm up on stage, and everybody just goes, "Holy shit! This is like the holy grail." So some guy bootlegged it or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's on YouTube, but
that's funny.
I don't know.
I have a show from somewhere, but I don't know where it's from. I only have one. I want to see the one where from Universal. Or the Roxy, one of those. It was just me on guitar and Jerry playing. No keyboards, no
shit.
No Eric. Do you remember when Eric was not in the band for a while?
Yes, I'm gonna ask you about that.
Okay, we can get into that. All right.
Sure.
All right.
Hey, we are back with Rick Steier. We did a part 1, and it was going so well, and we wanted to finish it up, so we decided to come back for part 2. And we had talked about your beginnings in music, what happened in the early days of Kingdom Come. We talked about Warrant and the Ultraphobic record. You had told me that James had left for the Scorpions after recording Ultraphobic.
Yeah, so Janie and we did that little solo demo thing. Remember I talked about that?
Yep.
So he had already been thinking about doing a separate thing, and it was not Warrant sounding stuff. And I said, let me listen to it. And before we get together, let me try to update it even a little bit more, because it was just on acoustic stuff that I was hearing from, right? So when we got together again, I said, here's my ideas, blah, blah. And then it kind of morphed into where it was going to sound like a band sound. So it kind of just a natural fit to come over into Warrant land. But yeah, the guys were open to it, I mean, they obviously knew something was amiss when we went from playing, not Coliseums, but arenas to, Joe Barr's nightclub.
Yeah.
Sure. So things were like, how it was. We were shunned by all the press and anybody. And it's, from interviewing other people, it wasn't just, it was the whole gamut of 80s. I mean, even Steve Vai like super guitar players, like, even he was like chastised. He was like, run out of town. I was like, what? Yeah. So it was a weird time. Yeah. But when we played live, we drew that crowd that wasn't totally turned on by the grunge, so they still wanted to hear rock and roll the way it was. Right. So all the hits we played went over great. We played Cherry Pie till I was, red in the face. Blue in the Face, Cherry. So it was like I didn't mind playing the stuff live. It was just add a little more texture to our music, update.
Did you ever hear Jani Lane? Like Jani Lane later on said that he hated that song. He kind of backtracked it, but
well,
did you guys ever talk? Did you ever talk about like, man,
well,
the old, you know?
yeah, he did. So what he didn't necessarily hate the song. He hated that he became the cherry pie guy.
Right.
So it was him. It was like it was branded on his butt, cherry pie. So, oh, you're the cherry pie guy, and nothing else mattered. Nothing else. Down boys. It's just, oh, you're the cherry. And so, and then since it's about talking about a chick and getting laid, and that even pissed off these interviewers even more. These from these magazines that love the grunge. They go, it's such an '80s, talking. So they made him feel like he shouldn't have written it. And I said, dude, you got to be proud. Look at the time that you wrote it, and never back down from what it was. It was a great hit, great video, right? I remember seeing it everywhere. It made the album go, I think, almost triple platinum. At least one of the songs to do that, make it do that. I said, be proud, but he just couldn't shake it. There was too many people putting a negative connotation to it. So, but you got change a guy's feelings about it. So,
right.
And like, I'm not around him all day, and he's out there. He's the cherry pie guy.
I saw an interview with you and James said that Ultraphobic was like in the top 5 greatest albums he had ever worked on.
James said that about Ultraphobic?
Yep.
Well, I don't know that. I never knew that. I knew he liked the record and whatever, but I never knew he felt, and he's worked on a lot of stuff. I don't know if he was just saying that because he was in the band.
Right.
Yeah. I'll promote the band a little bit here, guys.
Right.
But greatest album ever, man. I don't know. He's played a lot of really good stuff,
Right. How was, and so, well, you mentioned songwriting, like, how was Jani with writing, and like when you guys collaborated, would he just come in with an acoustic song and ask you what you thought, or how did you guys work together?
Well, it was usually me and Lane just together, and I would have a riff, and then he would go, "Oh, let me sing over that." So that it's the way songwriting should be. I like collaborating anyway, because someone will come up with an idea you didn't think of, as opposed to me writing the whole song. I've always done better with another writer, because I think you're going to hear something that, I didn't think of that. But anyway, yeah. So there was a couple songs. Was it Some of One from the Ultraphobic, and another one I mentioned prior. They came in acoustic. He said, what do you think of these? And those are the ones that I kind of souped up and made them Warrant ready. So, but yeah, it was usually me and Lane.
Okay.
And then on the second album, or the Belly Belly, Jerry and I got together and did a lot of pre riffs and saying, because Lane was sometimes just not to be found. So we knew we had to get an album out. So we laid out on a 4-track, all these ideas, because sometimes he would just disappear and we wouldn't get a hold of him. Or I'm not saying he was going, blowing his brains out with alcohol or anything, but he just kind of a space head, did his own thing.
Okay.
Whatever. Maybe not hear from him for a week.
Okay.
So we would have to keep going. And then Bobby and I, maybe I'm jumping ahead, but for the second record, then Bobby and I would get together, and he would like do a little drum beat, and he goes, "Can you put something to that?" In our hotel room. This is after James left, obviously.
Yep.
I don't know if I should. Bobby Borg was a drummer from the band. What was it?
Left for Dead, and we had kind of mentioned that he had come in.
Right.
Yep.
So for the second album, there was more of a band effort. and so Bobby did his thing, and I'd come up a little riff with him, and then so I remember Jani didn't live here. I don't know where he was living at the time, in Florida.
Okay.
He was staying at a hotel on Van Nuys, and I remember all of us going over there and we played him all these riffs and ideas, and because ultimately it's the singer that has to sing to the stuff, so you can't say sing this way. No, it's got to be like organic from him.
Right.
So there's stuff he likes, stuff he didn't. So that's the way the second album came together, as opposed to the way the first one did. When I say first, it's the two albums I worked on.
Ultraphobic and Belly to Belly.
Yeah.
Right. Did you ever talk? I asked Bobby Borg this. The lyrics on Belly to Belly, there are some really dark and desperate songs.
Well,
lyrically on that
Jani
album.
was going through some things, man. I got in the band right after he and Bobby Brown broke up.
Yeah.
And that's when the Jerry and Eric would tell me, he goes, God, he's started drinking so much because, so I didn't see the exact, actual timing of that whole thing. I was right in there, right after it. And so I don't think he recovered from that completely.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe there are other demons he was battling, but he would drink till he passed out. Not every time, but that was something he was very able to do.
Yeah.
And so he would write dark lyrics. I mean, that's just the way. I always loved his lyrics. I'm not much of a lyricist, I know what I want to say, but I like country music, how they say things in I don't like I love the music, but I mean, I really like the way they take the words and play with them and say things,
sure,
very uniquely and get their point across. But Lane was good. I can't do that, but Lane was good at doing that. And yes, even our solo stuff, which we haven't even got into, most of the stuff is pretty dark. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and like Bobby Borg had talked about the Jabberwocky stuff and I want to and Bobby, and I don't mean it to be so much about Jani Lane, but just your warrant years are really important.
Sure.
So Bobby Borg had said, there were nights on the tour bus where he said, I told Jani that you're going to be dead in 10 years if you keep going like this. And
right.
How were those tours? I mean, because Bobby would say, hey, there were sometimes you'd have to throw him in the shower or something to get him up for a show.
That's true. Well, that was up to our manager and another assistant, I guess you'd call him. But yeah, there was times where the only way to get him going again is to give him another shot. I mean, that sounds really harmful and not good, but just to get in here to take this. And I remember he'd say, he go, hit me. And I go, he go, no, hit me really hard. I go, he goes, no, hit me hard. So I hit him so hard, I thought I knocked him out, because he kept asking for more. So he just needed to wake up and get his, whatever it took. Now, again, I don't want it to sound like this was every show, but you never knew when it was going to be that way. Right. So I remember the manager would go, so how's Jani today? That was like the first question he would say, because he might stay up all night and then he couldn't sing. And I remember one time, and I don't know where it was, he wouldn't unlock the door to we were in a hotel and he had his room, and we ended up breaking the door down to get to him because he could have been dead or whatever. And the show was in 30 minutes. We were at the gig. I didn't do that. But our manager said, well, we broke the door down and got him in the shower and whatever. But yeah, it's there's no way your liver can deal with that. And it wasn't like he did drugs. It was just your alcohol. It overtakes the whole body, your functions. And
I always said that in those days, and I saw you guys a lot in those times, I never saw a show where I thought, wow, he's not very good tonight. He
Right.
usually seemed very good. Like what was it? Were there shows where you were like, uh-oh, or did it seem like he generally performed when he got on stage?
He could pull it together. There was never been a show where he's like just falling down drunk, like, like the Toxic Twins or whatever, Aerosmith. He would actually, the more he drank, it seemed like the more energy he would get and just keep going. And he could ad lib. Like we would do this song, No Cure for Cancer. It was just a song by Dennis O'Leary. You remember,
Oh,
we would
yeah.
I'd just break into that because we watched the movie on the bus a lot,
Yeah.
the stand-up show.
Yeah.
And I would just break into the song chords that were behind that particular comedic act, and he would start just going through it, memorizing it. I mean, he had it memorized. We didn't know it. He just kept going, and he'd go like, so every once in a while when there's dead air or something, I'd start that little riff, and he'd go, all right, bud, and he would start into that whole thing.
Right.
If anybody has a chance to listen to No Cure for Cancer, it's funny as hell.
Well,
He impersonate him perfectly. It was great.
before I hit record, I was telling you there's a YouTube video of a Warrant show in September of '95 that I was at. I actually got pulled up on stage on the show, but the intro music was Dennis Leary.
Oh, okay.
I think it was that song, I'm an asshole.
Yes, that's it.
So that was the intro music for that song, for that show.
That was it. And then it became part of the show.
Right.
Oh my God. But he was so great at it. I can't memorize stuff and it just came so clearly and succinctly off his tongue, he was so good at it.
Would he ever talk to you about his life or how, how
Not
things
really.
were going? Okay.
Not really.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he would complain about things, but nothing deep.
okay.
He'd make jokes about, you've never been screwed over, and then, he would complain in a way that's where I would hear it, but it wasn't like, what do you think, Rick?
Right.
It wasn't like that. No.
Sure. So belly to belly, how was you did Ultraphobic? How was the band going in to record Belly to Belly? Does it seem like everything is going well? Does everybody like the direction of that album?
Well, again, that was the one where I was saying earlier that we got together individually, me with Jerry. And so that was more of a group effort. So when we came in to record, nobody was going like, hey, where's my part? Or, everybody kind of knew where they stood.
Okay.
So it was, and we did it at Jerry's studio. I don't know, Dream State. I don't know if you ever heard that. He did it with his friend. Damn it, I can't remember his name. But I don't even know if it's there anymore. It was 25 years ago.
Right.
So 30 years ago. Anyway, so us not having to clock out of the studio because of time or pay this, we paid Jerry and his partner, but
sure.
not like we're at A&M Records or something, So, for this interview, I listened back to Belly to Belly because I was telling you last time, I don't listen to it ever.
Sure.
So I'm listening to it and I go, I don't even know what I did there. I'm going, how did that come together like that? And there's some stuff because I was going through each song and I remember, and I came across All For You, is that the name of it?
All For You. Yep.
Yeah. So one of my best friends, or a friend, he's from England. He worked for Jim Marshall amps. And this was going back, that's how long I've known him. When that came, he goes, that's my favorite song. And I go, oh, on the album? And he goes, no, it's my favorite song. And to this day, he always says that. And that weird. It wasn't like he picked a Beatles song. It has Beatlesque sound to it. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. But it's just like Stronger Now has the whole thing. But that's so weird. He goes, no. And every once in a while, when we're together, when we're playing or at his house, he has like a Spotify or something,
Yeah.
it'll pop in there and he goes, "There's my song." It's just kind of weird, and he's a musician. It's kind of made me feel good, but I just don't remember sitting there on some of these songs going, okay, let's do that chord here. Because I'm like, what the hell? I'm listening and go, what are we doing? I'm thinking, because I teach guitar too now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking if someone came in and asked me to teach that song, I'd go, I don't know if I can. I don't know what they're doing, dude. But I don't know what they're doing.
The drumming felt like there was a lot of different rhythms.
Yeah.
On that, not very much, straight ahead.
Right. Well, that was that fresh sound. It wasn't like ding, 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 ding,
Right.
ding. It wasn't the straight rock and roll kind of feel that most bands were doing. And that was, I give a lot of tribute to Bobby for that. He was good at mixing things up, and he was a lot more schooled than I thought when he first joined the band, because he was in this Left for Dead. They were punking out, but when he got, he's a big guy. I mean, you remember him? You met him?
Yeah.
Not tall, but you know what I mean? Yeah, and he can hit those drums loud, and like I said, he and I would get together because we roomed together, and he would, what do you think of this beat? And I'd play a riff, and then he'd do something, something to it, and so that's kind of how some of that stuff came to be. But Bobby was good. I don't remember why he left the band, and I knew you were going to ask about that. I can't remember. I know that we had two other drummers while I was still in the band, but I don't remember why he was gone. Did he tell you? He must have.
Yeah. And now it's been probably 6 months since we did that interview, but I think he said it was around 99, and he was like, I'm still in the band. They called me up and they were like, okay, we're going to book this tour. And he just said, I just did not want to do this tour. And I said, so I don't think it was any like big blow up, or at least that's what he said.
Yeah.
Kind of was ready for a change.
I don't remember being any blow up. I just remember it being pretty smooth going into the next drummer.
Right.
Yeah. So good. I'm glad it wasn't anything that I should have remembered. Don't you remember you guys got in a fist fight and he threw you? And
he said it was all you. Holy shit. No.
He said Rick made me leave. And
so, okay. Speaking of Bobby, I think one of the questions that people are dying to know, and Bobby talked about it a little bit, but the Jabberwocky stuff.
Okay.
The stuff that, how does that come about? What can you tell me about it?
Okay, so that was another thing that, in lieu of doing another Warrant record, Jane was really bent on doing a solo thing without the members of the band. The drummers, they're not really members. No, I'm kidding. You know what I mean? Drummer. I don't mean that, but they're not like influencing so much, like with a big personality. They're just say, hey, play this. And they, so Janie we had gotten together before, and he said, I really want to do a solo thing without the band members. Okay. So I rounded up a bass player that used to play in a cover band with me. He's from New York, but he moved to LA, and we would always jam and stuff. And so when Lane said he wanted to do a side project, I said, well, I got this really good bass player. And so it was just the three of us. And then, we could use a drum machine just to get most of that kind of stuff. And that's where we really went off the beaten path. Have you heard this?
Yeah.
Where did you hear it?
I mean, like there's
certain songs.
There's songs floating around on YouTube.
Yeah.
All over there. There's a guy named Chris Laney in Sweden who has like remastered and put new music on some of this stuff, and it's called Jani Lane Reimagined. But yeah, there's a bunch. I think they're jabber, but a bunch of these songs are floating around on YouTube.
That's illegal because no one gave him permission to do that.
I think he said he asked Maddie Lane. He said he just did it in his own studio, and he said, I'm not going to make any money for it. He said, are you okay if I put it on YouTube? And Matt, but
Right.
I wouldn't claim to know. So
yeah, because I was thinking about that. I've been thinking about it for years. That side project ended up putting out 20 songs that no one's ever heard except, under the Jabberwocky name, right?
Right.
So, so it was completely. Now we brought in a bass player that had another side to input and didn't play like Jerry. So whatever you heard, you can tell it's not anything like Warrant.
It's
right?
very singer-songwriter, pop,
right,
acoustic.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard God's Girlfriend or those.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe I'll send you a link or something to.
Please.
Yeah, actually, I don't know where it is. I have it on discs.
So you said there's about 20 songs that.
Well, 13, 14 or 15, wait, 16 we recorded, and then 4 of them are just on just him and I just jamming on a Walkman. How about that, brother?
No way.
Got that Walkman, that fucking cassette tape going on. We didn't buy new tapes. We put tape over the old tapes from I got from Atlantic Records, the old bands that didn't do well.
Right.
Here, a case of Funhouse was one of them. Do you remember Funhouse?
I remember that. I do remember that band.
Well, they were Funhouse 1, Funhouse 2. Anyway, so yeah, we have, and then we did a couple. My bass player Bruce Robinson is his name. I don't know if I mentioned his name. Really good bass player, and so he had a little studio, home little studio, not quality album cut studio, but like Pro Tools, but he wasn't great at it, but enough to get all the ideas down. Anyway, so we have like 6 songs that were at that level, but the other ones were cut at a friend's real studio, Matt Thorne. He's done other things.
When did this start? I mean, was this during Ultraphobic? Was it after? When were you doing these?
I think you probably know better than me. When did the live album come out? The greatest and latest?
I think that was 99.
Was it that late?
Yeah.
So this came before that.
Okay. Yeah.
So somewhere in between and overlapping, behind that, running parallel with whatever we were doing. Right. So when we were off the road for a month or whatever, Janie and I and Bruce would get together. So it wasn't like there wasn't time to do all this,
right.
So there was, and we weren't really looking to. We knew greatest and latest. We were going to do that, but Janie was really adamant about not wanting to do another Warrant record the way Warrant was. It's nothing against the guys. It was just a fresh thing, He didn't want the name Warrant to be on it. I think he was tied to that whole, again, cherry pie guy. Just wanted to be Jani Lane over here, and not even Jani Lane. It was a band name, Jabberwocky. So he didn't even want to be like the headline, high profile guy. He wanted to get away from that 80s thing.
Right.
I mean, that's the way he looked at it.
Yeah.
Not the fans. I'm just saying he wanted to like distance himself from that, make it a whole separate entity. So there was plenty of time, answering your question, to do this running parallel to all the Warrant shows and
sure. So what? I mean, I would have thought in all these years something would have come out. I mean, like, why doesn't that stuff ever get released?
Well, we were looking for a label. Bo Hill helped us out a little bit on a couple of songs. He came over and put in his 2 cents. Actually, I remember going to his house and playing a few things for him. He goes, great. But we didn't hire him to produce. We just, he was a friend at that point.
Yep.
he came over and put his 2 cents on here and there, but that was up to our manager. He was trying to shop it. Again, I think it was part of the. I remember, and now see, you're making me remember things. I remember Bo Hill saying, "I know you guys are doing different music, but once Jani starts singing, it's Jani singing." So people don't look at it as Jabberwocky. They go, "Oh, there's the Jani Lane's new band," and there was still that stigma. I have a stigmatism right here. Let me get that.
So do I.
There was a stigma still going on with the whole 80s thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that ever really left. I mean, until all these bands are doing reunion tours and stuff.
Yep.
But that stuck around a long time. Oh, 80s, because 90s, I like the 90s music, some of it, most of it. But I think that was part of the problem. Pardon me. That that no one was interested because of his name was on it.
I've always said it felt like to me in 2008 when that Rocklahoma happened, it felt like, okay, you could finally say, I like
Right.
rock or whatever, and it wasn't kind of shunned.
Taboo, yeah. It's sort of like being canceled, like today, these days.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're afraid to say, I voted for Trump, but I can't say it. So it's like that. So there's a time when you come out and say, or not be ashamed of, hey, yeah, I played this. And, but 2008, I was long gone by then. So I really didn't keep in touch much after that, or not before that.
This is probably backtracking, but you had mentioned like Eric Turner left during the Belly to Belly tour.
Oh, right. I don't know. I mean, I remember what he said. He said he just, well, I remember one of the reasons he got tired of dealing with Lane. I mean, if he refutes that, so be it. That's one of the reasons.
Right.
And he just felt like, I don't know what he felt like. All I know is we didn't replace him. So we had a keyboard player at the time. You might be able to tell me. We had Danny Wagner. He was playing keyboards.
Yep.
So and Lane could play, rhythms when we needed it.
Yep.
But half the time we were playing the same parts anyway. And live, you've seen bands live now that like Panic at the Disco or these emo bands, like their albums got so much information, this and that, and then there's up on stage, there's 4 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't really hear all the stuff that we hear. Anyway, so he left, and I just took on both rhythm and lead, and then Danny went. God, who was the drummer after Bobby?
It was a
good-looking guy, long hair, little guy.
Vicky Fox?
There you go. See, I'm losing my brain. Vicky, yeah, he came in out of nowhere. He played drums. I don't know, dude. If you'd asked me 20 years ago, maybe I'd remember why. But
well, he was in Enough's Enough, and he was in Vincent's solo band for a while.
Right. So I don't remember how he ended up in our band, but he stayed for a while. And then our keyboard player, Danny Wagner, who used to be a guitar tech, bless you. And he ended up, he could play drums too, right?
Yeah.
So he became the drummer after Vicky Fox.
That's right.
So we had Danny on drums, and then like I'm sitting on the drums, right? It's the stool, the throne. And so for keyboards like I Saw Red, right? He'd spin around and play keyboards.
Oh, shit.
Set up behind him.
Right.
Yeah. And then when it goes, I saw, when it came in with the whole band, the keyboard dropped out. So
yeah,
it was funny. We became, like a 5-piece, 4-piece.
Yeah.
How many? 4? Yeah. Yeah, I know. And we were playing clubs, and that's why I wanted to. I hope someone out there has access to either. We either played Universal, it was just me and Danny on drums, and me on guitar, or the Roxy. I can't remember which show it was, but it was.
And it's on YouTube?
I can't find it anywhere. That's why I know it was filmed. I know it was someone because someone told me about it back then, but I don't remember which one. Anyway, yeah, so that's where we're at.
Uh, and I've said, I mean, it doesn't shock me that Eric would say he was sick of dealing with that. I mean,
Mm.
you know, and I mean, there was always the like you'd be on tour and he would leave before the end of the tour.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
he was very unpredictable with the alcohol.
Yeah.
It made you very anxious, frankly.
I'm
He
I'm
would
sure.
miss interviews. He missed the MTV interview. Like, what the fuck? You can't do that. He had an interview with, what's that guy? He's real famous out of Detroit or Chicago. Great big rock and roll interviewer back in the day.
Not
Like, no, what's that?
not Eddie Trunk.
No, but someone like him.
Okay.
And Lane was hungover, and we pulled off the side, and we were in a phone booth. And I went with him. And so he was sitting there talking to him, and Lane, he didn't like the question the guy asked. He goes, "Oh, wait, hold on. I feel like we're getting disconnected." He hung up on him. And I go, "Dude." He goes, "Fuck him." So he burned bridges too, just like Lenny. I was dealing with another singer that has burning bridges as we go.
Right.
But Lane could always bounce back and say, "Oh man, apologize." He'd maybe call later or something, and he'd always get around it or get back in their good graces.
Did he ever do that with you guys? Like, shit, man, I'm sorry. This
Oh yeah. He goes, "Sorry, man." But the other two were too forgiving. They go, "Oh, it's okay, man. That's cool. It's cool. I understand." And I'd be like, "Dude, no, it's not cool."
Right.
I would stand up to him more than the other guys. I don't know if they got dependent on him or something.
Right.
I don't know. And I'm not disparaging them. I'm just saying it's kind of the way they let him get away with a lot more. I don't think they realized the power they had, because it's, Janie did leave.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of kicked him out. It
Yeah.
wasn't like, so they could have not let him back in, but whatever.
Right. You mentioned Abby Steinman, like he was trying to shop the Jabberwocky material.
Yeah. And again, it just wasn't going anywhere because it was Jani Lane.
Okay.
And it wasn't heavy enough. Think how no doubt they right 96, they perfect timing for a band like that.
Yep.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. In the middle of grunge, people were looking at that time. Now people are looking for a sound outside of grunge, just like they were looking outside beyond the sound of the 80s.
Yep.
So now grunge was like getting on everybody's nerves. It was how many bands it sounded with drop D on the guitar and doing riffs. I mean, it just,
Yep.
no doubt filled this little void, Hootie
Yeah.
the Blowfish. But our music just didn't quite fit in either path. So
I'll stop after this, but I know there's a ton of interest in that material. And there are all these and I'm sure the money's not huge, but there's all these, record labels that'll put up like, "Oh, hey, here's the old demos from this band or this."
Yeah. Well, maybe I should pursue that, because I've talked to Maddie a couple times over the years, and I don't know if she's the executor of his account or
I think so. Him and his other daughter Taylor.
I just hope it's not Abby involved, because the money should be going to her, not taking a cut from it. But yeah, his last I heard, his portfolio, if you will, song, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
generates around 200,000 a year, just here and there, being like every time Cherry Pie goes somewhere, it's always you heard it in Carl's Jr. commercials,
Yeah.
and all these. Every once in a while, I'll hear it pop up, or Uncle Tom's Cabin, and I'll go, there's another 20 grand for Lane.
Well, I interviewed Maddie, and
Oh, you did? Okay.
yep, and
Did she talk about that at all?
she did a little bit. She did. Well, she said after Janie died that they were trying to settle his estate, and apparently, and hopefully I don't say this wrong, but like Abby apparently sued to get
Yeah.
a bigger portion. Thought he should have been owed more.
Now, I don't know that for a fact, but it doesn't surprise me, and I'm not being a dick. It just
Yeah.
that's the way it was. I mean, it could be.
Yeah. But I know I asked her about about that music, and I think she said, well, that's something we're looking into, and I
Oh, the
knew you had
Jabberwocky
been
stuff?
on it.
The Jabberwocky
The
was.
Jabberwocky stuff.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll try to get back in touch with her and see if, because you're right. There's all these little labels
Yeah.
that are willing to. They're not huge labels like
Right.
Polygram or Atlantic or whatever,
Right.
but at least get it out there, right?
I mean, and if you like, you probably know this, a record label just re-released Ultraphobic. On
Oh, I didn't-
vinyl, I have it here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I bought the I don't know, do you want me to grab it real quick? See if
Are you sure? Is it the same cover and everything?
Yep, it's now
How'd you find it?
now I can't remember what record label it was. And now I probably yeah, here it is.
Was it like Frontier or something like that? One of those guys?
No, but it's something like that. So here it is. I bought and it's got Eric and Jerry autographed it. It's on vinyl, and they had a package where you could get vinyl and CD
Huh.
and like a little poster flat. So anyway, I mean,
Yeah.
but so there's all these labels, and
Right.
you do a run of, I don't know, 500 or 1,000 or whatever.
Sure. I'm surprised that that they didn't squawk. I mean, were they part of that deal, or were they just like signing the record? I mean, were they?
I don't know any of the. I mean,
Yeah.
I assumed that because they signed it that they were part of it, but
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
so anyway, I really hope, we would love to see a professional release of that music. We would love to see you benefit. I mean, however,
Yeah.
and Janie's kids. So
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Right on.
and you kind of alluded to it, that you had said that you had a kid, but I just is that what led you to leave Warrant?
Okay. So this was around what 2001, right?
Yep, I think so.
So, there was a label. It was a small label that approached us and said, okay, obviously, you've tried Ultraphobic, you've tried this new sound. I want you to write another 80s album. It wasn't CMC, that's the same label as that small. It was some other small label as well, and I just didn't want to do it.
Okay.
And at the time, I thought, well, we got the solo stuff. I don't really need to reinvent. I don't feel like going into the studio and writing stuff that's my heart's not going to be into. And then it's exactly what they sounded, what they wanted. Remember when Keith Olsen did that record with them, and what was it? Something about Jack Daniels, or what was the name of their album? Was it 2008 or 2007, 6?
With Jamie St. James?
Yeah.
Born Again.
Okay. So Keith Olsen was the producer, right?
I think so, yeah.
Just for the people listening, he did, Foreigner and Fleetwood Mac, and he was a big time guy. So I was surprised he took them on. But anyway, that album is everything that I didn't want to record.
Okay.
Now I'm not. It is what it is, and it's for that. I'm not saying you can't love it, or it's just I was over that whole kind of thing. And even my writing today is nothing like the 80s. It's just not.
Sure.
It's more like Zeppelin, if anything. So I just didn't want to do it. And I thought, well, James was what had a side. He said, hey, Scorpion said I could do a side project. And this was right around the same time. I said, okay, well, what do you want to do? I forgot during all of this, I did 3 CDs with James just on this. I don't know if you have any of that stuff, but on these little labels and stuff. So I was working with him. I thought, okay, so I'll take all my energy and put it with writing with James. Still got the Jabberwocky stuff, on the back burner. Mm-hmm. And then I also satisfied the fact that I didn't have to sit there and come up with, I just didn't want to do it. And then the icing on the cake was Eric and I kind of got into it. I won't go into why, but we just butted heads over a few things. I was like, dude, Janie was acting squirrely. It just was like, I feel like my job, my time here is gone, done,
Okay.
So right away, James and I started working together, and we went to Japan, did some stuff. His wife, Athena, Athena, Tommy's sister. So she played drums, and he was the front guy, played rhythm guitar very badly, but it looked good. He was Jimmy Ratchet. That was his alter ego. He wasn't James Kottak.
I have the Crunk Therapy CD.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because I like punk rock. I like a lot of pop punk. And
you'll see my name. I mean, even though I don't know what you're going to see, but I wrote half of that stuff with him.
Okay. Yeah. No, I knew you were involved with it.
Yeah. So that I forgot about that chapter. I forgot a lot of stuff, didn't I, Anthony? I need a drink over here.
That'll help.
Yeah.
I kind of glossed over greatest and latest. Was there anything you wanted to add about that? I mean, I don't know if there was.
So remember me mentioning Shea Baby? He worked for Keith Olsen. So he came out and recorded that in a mobile studio in the Harpo's.
Yep.
Was it Harpo's? Did you see us in Harpo's ever? That's Detroit, right?
No, but there's video of Warrant Harpo's. Yep.
Okay. By the way, if you have any video after we're done, send it to me, because I have one concert from I don't know where it was.
I mean, all I would have is YouTube. I mean, I don't have any.
Yeah, well, the links. I mean,
I will send you some stuff.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
Greatest and latest.
Right. So I think we recorded it in Vegas. So we had he had his mobile studio there, and recorded the whole thing live. And then he said, this thing needs me and him. He and I were good friends other than musical. I mean, we hung out, football and do stuff. So he goes, dude, there's a lot of stuff on here that needs fixing. And for some reason, I remember the guys were going, oh, mistakes are okay. It's okay. Now, Shea was kind of like a perfectionist. He wasn't going for that, because now he was the producer for this.
Yeah.
He wasn't just turning buttons and like an engineer. So he was like, no, if my name's going to be on it, there's things that need fixing. And so I was the only one that he goes, I'll make time in the studio. Good night, LA. And he said, come in and we'll fix everything. The guitars, he said, vocals. He said, well, there's parts in Cherry Pie where there should be gang vocals that aren't there live. And so I was doing like 15 different voices, and to my, just keep overdubbing.
Yep.
So we did all that work, or I did, because I'm in the band, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm the newest guy. and these guys don't care how this turns out. It was so weird. So I don't know why. I just remember I was the only one involved in the whole mastering and the whole thing. I'm not saying it was great, that it made it fit what Shay wanted. He wanted it fixed, and we fixed it. So that was, if I had to play a little bass note here or this and that. And then he had a hell of a time taking out the motherfucker. Hey, how you do, motherfuckers, tonight? Woo! All that cussing. He goes, dude, because we were going to release Heaven. It was going to be Heaven. That was my friend's idea. He goes, release Heaven and call it Heaven in 97.
Okay.
With a whole, 10 years later than the original.
Yep.
And it'd be live, and radio was big back then still and everything. And I don't know why that didn't fly, but I just remember having a hard time getting all the FUs out. And it wouldn't be like he did it in the front of the song or the back of the song. He would do it in the middle of the song.
Right.
Over music. And like, how, we'd have to fix shit like that. Where are you going?
Oh, I got to take my dog.
Stretch your legs.
My dog has to go out like 20
what time
times.
is it?
So I just wanted to make sure, like, greatest and latest, like, whose idea was it just to go re-record these old songs?
I don't know, dude.
Okay.
I don't know whose idea it was.
Okay.
Management comes to us and says something like, hey, so-and-so's interested in you guys doing a live album and a couple of new songs. And back then I was like, okay. I didn't ask a lot of questions.
Sure.
It was like, okay, I was young and whatever. Sure, man, let's do it.
So you talked about getting back together with James. You guys did a Wild Horses album in 03, Dead Ahead.
Right.
Right.
Not playing out ever. So that was another. We had a bunch of music that we had recorded. God, you're doing it to me again. I forgot all about it. Again, we recorded it with Shay. We were trying to get another deal, and nobody major picked it up, or based on our 3 or 4 song demo. But we kept recording songs with Johnny Levesque. He was the singer. It was also leftover songs from our from the first record.
Okay.
Bareback. So between that and that, we had 10 songs. I think it's only on the album, on Dead Ahead.
Yeah.
And so another label approached us about it. Again, I can't remember how they found out or whatever. But yeah, so we released that, got a little bit of money, but never played out under the name Wild Horse. It was just like, there it is. It got some radio airplay because I remember people talking about it. But,
sure.
Dude, I forgot all about that album. How can you forget about an album? I'm serious. It's like, as your life goes on, you're moving on and doing new things. It's just like, oh yeah. And I forgot. I played on a Forever Mod, a Rod Stewart tribute record.
That's okay. Yeah.
Did you ever?
I have that.
Okay. I'm on that for Joker. What's up with the Joker? Joke. I was only joking.
Oh yeah, I was only joking.
I think that's the one I played on. So again, I forgot all about that until we're talking here. So again, having a family and doing working with other, then Kingdom Come tried to do a reunion in 2017. We actually did with James, everybody except Lenny. And by the way, it wasn't like I was sitting around. So I had a couple businesses, non-musical businesses, that I started right after, I don't know what it was, somewhere around 2008, maybe.
Okay.
There. Yeah, they were night lights. They were called Metallusions, and we sold them and then they turned into like lit up back picture frames. We sold to Kodak. We sold like 3,000 a month to them. me and another guy, not a musician, just totally, off that route. So I was doing that, and then that took up a lot of time. And about 2017, then I started giving guitar lessons, and then I was looking for young artists that I could help. And the ones that I help, they always end up, I don't know if it's my luck or they're in this certain path of playing, and all of a sudden they veer off to somewhere. I go, what are you doing? I'm into disco now, psychedelic disco. And I think it'd be like totally out of my lane, as they say now. It's like, what? And so I would go through like 2 or 3 people like that. So in 2017, we did a Kingdom Come reunion without Lenny, and we got in Keith
St. John.
Yeah, so you know him, right? Or
Yep.
love him or whatever.
Love him.
He's like a utility guy. He plays with every band out here. He played with what's his name for 10 years, Ronnie Montrose.
Okay.
So that's where he got his name put out there, because James played with Ronnie Montrose. See, James played with everybody.
James did. Holy shit.
I know. Yeah, he did. So we got him because, again, Lenny wouldn't do it. He was kind of retired, didn't want to do the tour.
Were you hoping to do it with Lenny, or were you hoping to do it without Lenny?
Well, there was definitely going to be a bigger buzz with Lenny, and hopefully he would have been chilled by then. Like, he wasn't going to be the same guy, 25 years later.
Yeah.
So he actually did come over, and for some other reason, his brother lives in the States, and we got together, and he found out James was drinking or something, and he said, "No, I don't," because the word was out somehow that James was drinking with the Scorpions.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. That's a German thing. I really don't know, but he's in Germany, and the Scorpions are in Germany. Who knows what they heard or knew or whatever. So anyway, we got Keith, and we did a run around the States for like a month.
Yep.
Which generated sales for the Kingdom Come records. But everybody's going, "Oh, you're going to come up with new record." The thing with those guys, everybody's like, Danny lives in Pittsburgh. Johnny lived in Tampa. Name a city in Florida.
Tampa?
No. Yeah. Where's Disneyland?
Orlando?
Okay, yeah, there you go. Another drink, please. So he lived there. Keith lived in Vegas. It just could never get it together. I don't know. Logistics. They were doing stuff. I was doing stuff. And so now we're actually writing a record. It's going to take a long time, but because, again, the logistics, and you get people this age, they get a little stubborn, dude. They get a little bit like, "No, I don't want to do it that." You're not flexible like when you're young. Yeah, let's try. It's like, I've been doing this for 30 years. Don't tell me how to do that. So that's where we're kind of butting heads. I mean, it's normal, and that's why it's such a slow process.
Sure.
Like we have 4 demos done.
Okay.
And before we do any more, we're going to shop those to see if anybody's interested. And I'm not talking about like Frontier or like these small labels. It's got to be, a decent thing. The thing is, dude, no one's buying records anymore. I mean, you as a collector does, but my daughters and my wife and I can get Spotify and hear everything we ever wanted for $11.99 a month. I have YouTube. I remember James did another record with some other Shanker.
Michael?
Yeah, he did a record with him. And he goes, "Hey, I'm going to bring over the CD and let you listen to it." I go, "Oh, I've already heard it." "Oh, yeah, I pulled up YouTube. Yeah, I got it. No problem." So it's like, where are they going to make their money? Like 3 cents every time it plays? I mean, or less than that.
I
It's just not the same. I feel bad for these young artists unless they're really special,
right.
and they got to stand out. And what the internet has done is some kid in Montana or Maine that would never have thought he wanted to be a professional musician, say singer or guitar player, but he's in Maine. Oh, I'm stuck in this one horse town. But now he doesn't have to come to Florida or New York or not Florida, LA, and make a big splash and do a showcase or something. You know what I mean? So just put some stuff on the internet, gets a following, and then there's people out there that look for young artists that maybe break through. And they don't look at they don't care about how many, they don't really care about how good they are. They care about how many followers they have.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Yeah.
Because there's some shitty bands out there that have tons and tons of followers that are playing out because there's enough people that don't recognize shitty music, right? I mean, if they say they're in love with the singer, they're going to come to the show, or they have a song they like. It's tough being in the business these days. You hear that from other people, right?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, and so many of the bands that we grew up loving don't put out new music. Some do. Some are continuously doing, but a lot of them are like, it gets hard to put all this effort into an album and then nobody buys it.
Nobody's going to buy it. Now, LA Guns has been really good at doing that. They keep putting out stuff, even if it's like internet radios, not regular radio, internet radio shows that play, or internet radio stations. Sorry.
Yep.
And they're playing. They got a pretty good following still because they never stopped. They always kept putting.
They put out an album every 2 years. LA Guns.
Right. So exactly. So that's something that we never did, and I don't frankly think we could.
Yeah.
But I think that's what helped them, rise above all this. So it's tough.
I mean, there's obviously positives to the internet. The reason I even do this was, number one, I'm such a fan,
right?
And so now I have a radio show on Rock 101 KLOL out of Houston. So I play, like, whenever you finish this or finish a song, I will play it on the radio and promote the shit out of it.
Right.
Because I'm always telling people, please go out and support these guys. I
appreciate that. Yeah.
So hopefully when you guys do something, and I hope it comes out, we'll promote it.
Right?
Yeah. And did Lenny have any problem with you guys going on? He was fine with you guys, or?
Well, at first he wanted to approve everything, and then I don't talk to Lenny directly because, for one, he's in Germany, and I never really had a great, based on our relationship before. It was just, so I go through his brother, Marco. He lives in Seattle, and so if I have something to tell Lenny or I ask a question, is it okay if we do this or this? And so when we started talking about doing this record, a new Kingdom Come record, Lenny owns that name because that's right. So it's not like we could just go out and go, "Hey, we're Kingdom Come," and you don't have anything, So we had to get his blessing.
Yep.
And so Marco said, he's not the same before. Because he realizes when you guys play out under the name Kingdom Come, he makes money from that because people go and buy the records or listen to it, and he's the majority songwriter, right? We talked about all that.
Yep.
So he gets the lion's share of whatever comes in. So he said he just doesn't want any drama. Just do what you do. So he didn't have any problem with a new singer and us playing out. And again, at first, no, he had to prove everything.
Okay.
But he's cool. Just no drama. Lenny. That's what his brother said. They're just, you guys just don't cause any trouble out there. Just play the gigs, and you know what I mean. Don't no controversy or anything.
Right.
Or drag his name into it or whatever.
You don't foresee him ever wanting to go back out on the road?
No, because I think part of the problem, and I don't want to. I think some singers just don't sing the same way after they get a certain age.
Yeah.
Like the Steelheart guy, what's his name?
Mike Matejevich, or however you pronounce it.
Miko, yeah.
Millie.
So I ran into him at Shay's house for a football game about 2 months ago, and he said, "Yeah, I can still hit those notes." I go, "You're kidding." He goes, "No," and I actually went on the video on YouTube, and he did, and he's in his late 50s, right? Just like the rest of us, and so he, but not everybody does that. Not everybody can do that. And Lenny had such a unique voice, he didn't have a falsetto. It was just that raspy thing. And I remember him wanting to, when we did something somewhere, he wanted to change the key. He goes, let's do Get It On. It's in the key of A. Let's drop it down to the key of E. We're going, okay, it's not just like, it doesn't work like that. We just can't on stage. Hey, next song's in the key of E. Okay, you guys got that?
Right.
I think without him admitting it, or I just feel like that's one of the reasons. And maybe he'll come back and say, no, that's not right. But I don't know why you would want to quit singing if that was what you did, if that was your passion. I don't know. It's a little odd to me, because he recorded some other stuff after we left. So it wasn't like, the original Kingdom Come breakup stopped him. He kept doing.
Yep.
So anyway, maybe he got tired of all the bull crap. I told you, like, he didn't like, maybe he pissed off a lot of promoters over there.
This was in the news, and I don't, he's
sure.
But 2022, the Sweden Rock Festival, when James was having.
Yeah, no, I'll talk to you. So when we did that little tour in 2018, he was drinking the whole time, and we tried. I mean, some shows he would play like he did there, like halftime, and he would sneak stuff. He would get, and we'd tell the bartenders, we'd say, "Hey, this is after he quit Scorpions, right?" So when he was, and they didn't really quit, he was fired, right? Yeah. Yep. Which is really sad. I don't know what I told you last time. I went to, he remained friends with Rudolph and Matthias and Klaus and all that. And we went to a show in LA here where it was, what's his name? Billy D. What's his name? Mickey D. Mickey D was playing drums, and I'm at this show, and I'm watching them play, and James is standing next to me. We're watching it, and I just started crying. It was weird because I was going, "You're not up there anymore. You did this for 17 years, man." And it was an uncontrollable cry. I was like, I don't even know where that emotion came from, because I've always, he was my best friend, and then he lost the job because of alcohol. Like, I remember one of the agents, Sullivan Agency or whatever.
I've heard of that, but
Sully. So he goes, "You really have to be in the throes of alcoholism to give up one of the primo spots in rock and roll. Like, Scorpions are right up there, not with the Beatles, but in a different genre. They're like, when you say top world name bands, it's the Scorpions, and then there's Van Halen or whatever, right? I mean, they're up there at the top.
Yeah.
If you look at any like roster from a festival, they're usually the last billing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, dude, he goes, "Oh man, it's okay." He goes, "It's fine." But then I came to realize that everything that he would tell me, he would say, "Oh, guys," he goes, "I don't drink," and during the show, and then Matthias finally did an interview with someone, and he spilled the beans. He said, we've been trying to get James sober for years. And I knew James, they even sent him to what's Eric Clapton's island there, off of God dang it. You know where it's a rehab place? They
I
sent
don't
him.
know the name of it.
Yeah. It'll maybe it'll come to me. They sent him there for 6 months, secluded, and he got clean, and he came back, and I thought, wow, this is cool. And he went back with Athena. Now I'm not bad mouthing her, but she was a party girl, and one night she goes, oh, screw it, let's just have one drink, because I was around him after that, and he wouldn't drink, but he was with her, and he wouldn't drink. It was awesome. And then some way, somehow it broke him. I don't know if it was her. I think it was, because he was married to her and he didn't do anything without her, because she was a rock and roller, right? So, yeah, and then it just got really bad. So back to the Sweden thing.
Yep.
So we'd already been used to him playing like this.
Okay.
So we'd tell the bartenders at whatever venue we're at, like at the hotel where we were staying, we show a picture and the name. We'd say, this guy, you cannot serve him any alcohol.
Yeah.
So what he would do is a fan would come up and he goes, hey man, can you buy me a drink? I'll pay you. I'm busy here. Can you buy me a drink? Oh yeah. And they'll bring it back. And how much do I owe you? No, it's on me. So you'll do that 3 or 4 times with different people. It's impossible to stop, even if there's no liquor store around.
Right.
And it was just a sad thing, because we were all worried, because he was drunk the night before when we rehearsed. We rehearsed in our hotel room. We just go over the order of the songs and like, what are we gonna do between this song and this song? Oh, this is where I'll talk, and this is where I'll introduce the band, or blah blah blah, or whatever. And so we right in the middle of it, he goes, I'm gonna go bathroom, and came back. He couldn't play because he went back to his room. And now when you're an alcoholic, you don't have to start drinking from scratch. All that alcohol's sloshing around in you. So 2 drinks will put you back totally wiped out.
Right.
It's not like you're starting all over every day.
Yeah.
A couple drinks and you're back to where you started.
Yep.
Or where you ended. So anyway, so he got there, and our agent said, they might not pay you because you all suck so bad. I said, you know who sucked? He goes, yeah, but I said, we still played. They're going to pay us. We didn't not play because he was drunk. He just played terrible. It was like, Get It On was I mean, like putting people to sleep. We're like, and I'm going like, come on. And he'd just stare and keep the same beat, just staring at me or whoever. He couldn't play any faster. I thought he was going to just fall off, and he got real skinny. It was a sad situation. Yeah. So I did that with Janie, and I did it, I'm dealing with it again. So I don't know how much you want me to talk about James, but that the Sweden thing was a disaster, but we still sounded good. We were just like on half speed.
Yeah. Yep. I think if you weren't, if you weren't really familiar with the music, you would have been like, oh, they sound okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But you could see you guys turn around and looking at him, and
they would see that, or maybe they wouldn't. Maybe they would think we were just getting into the music, and I'm making faces like,
right,
speed up. So
I would love to. I mean, I think fans I would love to know like what happened after that. What
Yeah. Well, so we were still together. Kingdom Come. This is what year was that we did Sweden?
2022.
22. Okay. So I said to the guys, we got to get a new drummer. We can't do this.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a real story, because it's kind of funny but it's, you guys can take it for what it is. It's kind of funny because it's so crazy, but I'm going to tell the story anyway.
Yeah.
It tells you the mindset of an alcoholic. So we had an Uber come pick us up at the airport, pick us up at the me first, and I went to his apartment, and the Uber guy's going, okay. So I went up there, I'm knocking on the door, and he finally comes to the door. He's like just dragging. I go, dude, are you packed at least? Please tell me you're packed. He goes, what? Let's take a later flight. I go, dude, that's not the way it works. It's booked, and we're all together, and there's no later flight. It's on the East Coast, so it's not like we can get there later. So about the Uber guy's just waiting down there, and I just said, just hang on, we'll pay you whatever. So about an hour and a half. So I planned on being at the airport at a specific time. So I'm sweating bullets as we're driving down there. Finally got his shit together. And of course, shorten the story a little bit. We missed our flight. So we're on standby for the next one, right? So I said, okay, well, we still got time to make it and still make the show. So we're sitting there, James, they're loading up the thing. We're on the list, standby list. And he goes, I'm going to go to the bathroom quick. So, okay. I said, all right. So he said, look, keep my luggage. So everybody's going in, it's getting down. Okay, Rick and Jane, Rick Steier, whatever. I go, wait. Let me go get him. And she goes, you can't leave your luggage like that. So I had his luggage. I couldn't drag it. So I was like, oh, I can't go find him. So I was like, dude, she goes, okay, we're about to shut the door. Everybody was in. I was going, oh my God, this isn't happening. And the door shut. So I'm going, and James is walking back very slowly with a beer in his hand. I mean, I'm not trying to demean him at all. If you really think about it, it's kind of funny because I'm trying to make it light of it, even though it's a serious problem. Yep. But at the time I was furious. Like, we just missed our first flight. Now we missed our second flight. And then there was another flight later, and no, we were supposed to go in a day before and rehearse. So there was no more flights. So we had to get a hotel. No, we got into our connecting flight.
Okay.
So, but then there was no more flights. So we had to get a hotel and be on standby in the morning for the next flight to where we were going. We were going to Tennessee.
Okay.
Away from California, right? So we were laid over in Texas, I believe, Houston. And so we got there and we're on standby again. I'm sweating, and it's like, I'm going to go to the bar. I go, no, you're not. You sit down. So then it gets down to standby, and she goes, oh, I have room for one person. And I go, they can't play without a drummer, but they can play without an extra guitar player. So you go. So he went on the plane. There's one more flight. Now you realize I was supposed to be there the day before. So I'm just, every time it's skipping it, a couple hours here.
Yeah.
So I'm calling the promoter, the person picking us up. And I said, here's what's happening. And they, okay, I understand. I said, here's what time my flight gets. Anyway, I got in, they pick me up. They take me right to the venue. I change clothes, put a guitar on, and go right on stage. Didn't have a chance to warm up, didn't have a chance to play. And I'm sweating, just like going, am I going to even make it? Insane, dude. And that was, I have similar stories. I don't want to bore everybody with them, but see, it's kind of humorous when you look back, like, what the frick? So I was dealing with that. They didn't have to deal with it. They just showed up, and Rick will bring James in, like his pet. Rick will take care of it. Don't worry. And I felt like every time we go on the road, I was going to have a heart attack because he was so unreliable, and I never knew what he was going to do or what. But anyway,
that sounds stressful as shit.
Oh, dude, that's what brought on all this. I said, you guys, we need a new drummer. James just needs a good talking to. And I go, no, listen to me. You've talked to him before. I know I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. And they were fighting me. And I said, you come out, you fly out, or I'm just going to go on my own. You guys will book the gig. And if he doesn't show up, he doesn't show up. I said, it's on you guys. So he screwed up another time after that.
Yeah.
Not he didn't miss the gig, but it's a major screw up. I don't want to tell another story. So so finally they said, yeah, well, we told him, we said, James, you're not in the band. I told him, I said, he called me 2 weeks later. He goes, hey, I got this gig ready to go, and a friend of mine wants to book us. I go, James. And he was drunk, always talking to me.
Yeah.
So, don't you remember our conversation? He goes, what? I said, you're not in the band anymore. He goes, okay. And he'd hang up. And then like 2 weeks later, he'd say, so he didn't remember talking to me each time. It was, now I won't go into any further. That became really sad because I realized he was drinking day and night. It wasn't matter if I talked to him at 2 a.m. or 8 a.m. or 12 in the afternoon. He was always drunk.
Yeah.
So we got a new drummer and we played out, and I called Athena. I said he's got to get out of LA. He's just sitting in his apartment. We did an intervention, and that didn't work. You know, son came and other people came, and anyway, so finally I talked to his brother and sister in Kentucky. I said, you're either gonna buy him a one-way ticket to Kentucky, or we're gonna send him home in a box. It's your call. There's no other way this is going to end. So after a year, they sent him back, and he left all his stuff. His son came and I helped him move, and my other friend, and I found out he was partying there. Then one day his brother called and said, James has passed. And that was, your organs just shut. It's just the same way with Jani. Jani wasn't doing drugs. He didn't overdose. James wasn't doing any drugs. It's so weird. They just drank themselves to death. It sucked.
Yeah.
So that was the end of that.
Was he fairly in control in, like, maybe back in Warrant? Was it kind of
in Warrant? He was fine. He was real proud of everything we did. He showed up on time, and that came later.
Yeah.
Like sometime during the Scorpions, because he said he wouldn't drink. And I go, well, why are they talking about it? He goes, I don't know. And I found out what he would do. He after every show, the promoter would take him out to dinner on them. So they would go to these nice restaurants, and he'd excuse himself, go to the bar, say, give me a shot, and then drink a couple. And then that's how he was able to drink on the road. And they never knew. And then he fell, Matthias told me he fell off the drums during a solo one night. Like he stands up on the drums and takes his shirt off and shows Rock and Roll Forever, turns around, that whole thing.
Yeah.
He fell down, and he's like, I think that was probably the last bit that did him in. Right. But anyway, yeah.
You weren't surprised when
no.
Okay.
No. Again, I was really upset about it that he quit this, or got fired from one of the greatest rock bands of all. So anyway.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate you going into that, because I always wondered about.
I don't know if people are interested. I mean, it's a sad thing. He never knew how powerful he was, what influence he had in the band. I said, you should tell them this. He goes, no. I said, you should ask for more money. No. I said, well, you got to come on, James. I said, look, they put you on the cover of their autobiographical book, the Scorpions book. He's on the cover, just him with his back, Rock and Roll Forever. I go, don't you think you have some juice? Look at that. You're the only freaking, they didn't put, Rudolph there, or Matthias with the guitars. Right. They showed you standing on your drum set with your back. He didn't realize. I kept saying, dude, you're worth more than what he was getting paid. I always pushed him. Whatever. Anyway, so that's that for James, God rest his soul.
Yeah. And man, I mean, you did your time with two rock and roll, casualties, and so
maybe it's me, maybe.
And I think I asked this, but you never got out of control with the partying.
No, I was too. I was even after always. I always got nervous about if I took it too far. I was worried about what I was going to screw up, and I didn't want to screw up anything.
Right.
I didn't want to be blamed for anything that went wrong. So even though it was like Monsters of Rock, we were playing that day at 1:15, and I was up till 8 in the morning. That was pushing it. I won't name their names. We were doing some illicit drugs, and how else can you stay up till 8 in the morning, right? Alcohol won't keep you out. So I was like, dude, and they're like, let's go. And I go, no, I know what my limit is. I mean, even that's pretty far. That's as far as I went. Going to Monsters, knowing I have to play in front of 60,000 people, maybe, and then be up there like all hungover, just throwing up. I don't know what I was going to be doing.
Right.
I just know that my hangovers weren't pleasant.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I was just so in 2024, didn't like Keith St. John was out of the band, and you got a new singer, Ezekiel.
Yeah, Ezekiel Kaplan. So yeah, we've done a few shows. We just switched booking agents, so things aren't quite settled in to where we can play. So we were playing gigs with like Lita Ford and Great White, those kind of 80 bands that are always you always hear about playing out somewhere. Lynch Mob, is still doing it. And those 80s bands. There's just like a group of them. Playing the same, like Vince Neil. We played, with just not the whole band, just the Vince Neil show or whatever. And then festivals mostly. I don't want to headline because I don't think we had enough draw. So I said, just keep us in a package, just with Winger or Warrant or whatever. Have you been to M3? You know anything about the M3?
I know all about M3. I've never been there. It's
okay. So we're just doing shows like that, big shows and whatever. We'll see.
How many shows a year do you guys play? How many shows a year do you want to play?
I'm not that big a fan about it anymore. Maybe once a month is the average. So maybe 3 times a month, and maybe go 2 months without playing. But again, we're going through a different period with this new singer and people, promoters, they're really strange. And the agency, you have to be the right fit. Like Warrant has been playing as Warrant, the 4 guys without Jani since Jani left, since what's his name?
Robert Mason.
Robert Mason, yeah. He does a great job. I mean, he's a good showman. Like, he doesn't have the gift of gab like Lane, but he sings and he twirls the mic and does all the 80s stuff. So he's a good guy. I like him.
Not many people could talk to a crowd like Jani Lane. I'll just say that.
We would sit back and Jerry we'd be on the side of the stage, and we'd like shake our heads and go, listen to him just go on and on and on. And it wasn't like the crowd was going, shut up, play some music. They were like listening to him and laugh at what he was saying. And he was captivating. He was like, and we're sitting there, what the fuck? I go, I guess we should have another drink while we're waiting. Someone order a pizza. It was funny. It was a good time. It was a great time. Yeah.
So I know you said it'll take a long time. I mean, when do you think we could hear anything new from Kingdom Come?
Well, I don't think it until a label says we want you. I couldn't tell you when that is.
Sure.
I guess we have 4 songs, 2 that are completely demo ready, 2 that are almost demo ready, because I have to send stuff back, and they go, I don't like this part. And I'm doing it with a friend here, and we had originally had drum machines on it, and we have a really good drum, Matt Muckle. He's a really good drummer. he plays all over with everybody. He was just on the road with Pretty Boy Floyd. Not that
Okay.
but he does those gigs. He's like a utility guy. Just who needs a drummer? You know,
Yeah.
he's there.
Yeah.
He's really, really good. He's probably the closest person that plays like James that I
Okay.
know, like really heavy backbeat and just
Yeah.
drives it like Zeppelin Bonham. You know that feel.
Yeah.
That groove, it's really special. It's not hard. I mean, it's not easy to you listen to, oh, he's just playing a drum beat, but there's a pocket to fit.
Yeah.
And he and James could nail that. That's
Yeah.
why Keith Olsen loved him for all that he did after the Scorpions thing. I told you he did that record for the Scorpions.
Yeah.
Keith hired him for every band that would come in after that. I mean, I'm talking about 10 bands later. He was still, I got the drummer, I want to bring him in.
Right.
Said, you on the album, but I want my drummer because James could get it really quick.
Yeah.
And he would listen to the songs like, 3 days before he's supposed to do layout. So in the studio, you lay all the drum tracks first. So he had the whole album done, and in 2 days, he go, okay, see you, Keith. He was amazing. He was an amazing drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So real quick, I know we're still going. What is that? Aren't people going to get tired of me?
No.
Are you sure?
I kid you not.
I mean, you're interested because you're a guy, but I just feel like they're going to go, what the fuck is he rambling about?
I mean, you are so chill, like, and you're hilarious. I'm not just saying, I just wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
So, shoot. I mean, some of the interviews that I think this is going to do really well. A lot of people are going to be interested in the story of Kingdom Come and your years in Warrant. So anyway, hey, we're back for part 3, which
Right
is
on.
awesome. And I've been telling people, I'm like, man, I have gotten the whole history of Kingdom Come, at least from your perspective.
Right.
Talking about your years in Warrant, I'm telling you, people are jacked about this interview. So anyway, so we're gonna get into what you're doing now, and you're working with bands and stuff. But I may have asked this, and if I did, I'll edit this out.
Right.
But do you have any contact with the Warrant guys now?
I do. I really don't. I tried Jerry a few years back, but he never replied.
Sure.
My understanding is he doesn't play bass on all the gigs. He goes out for one gig. Oh, so you know all about that. He plays and then what's his name? We talked about that. Fills in for him.
Robbie Crane.
Yeah. I think we mentioned that maybe before, but maybe not. Yeah, so I don't know what the deal is about that or why, or you know what I mean? Maybe he's just
okay.
Some people just get tired of going on the road because they play like a lot out still. Have you seen them lately?
It's been a couple years.
Really, that long for you as a big fan? Come on, man, what's wrong?
They actually played North Dakota. Fuck, but it was about 2.5 hours away, and all my friends are old, and you go, hey, you want to make that trip? And they're like, nah, and I'm like, well, I could go by myself.
Yeah, that's no fun.
So I talked to Billy Morris today, and he told me to tell you hi. I don't know how close you guys
very
were.
Cool. Very cool. So, I was going to ask you what he's doing, but that's another story.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's playing with Tough. I don't know if you
I remember them. Yeah,
he's playing with Tough and does these cover bands and owns a food truck, and that guy's insane.
I remember his mom had a bowling alley, owned a bowling alley back in Ohio.
Yeah, he's like, I have a food truck, I have a recording studio, I do this, I do that. It's like, I'm like, how the hell do you do that? Anyway, and then here's, before we get on to the new stuff, I was just gonna ask this because I can't believe I didn't ask it before. But do you remember hearing when Lane died?
Do I remember the exact moment and all that?
Or I mean, when you heard that he had passed away?
Yeah, I remember. It was pretty wow. And the thing is, I knew the hotel because when he was in town or when he didn't have the house, I don't know what stage, but sometimes, he lost the first house, and then it's sometimes when he would come to California, when he didn't live here, he would stay at a hotel.
Okay.
And it was that I was going to say Southern Comfort, Southern Comfort Inn. There we go. That should be the name of it. It was at Comfort Inn on Ventura Boulevard. And so I'd been there many times with him.
Yeah.
Just, that was his place to go. So yeah, it was I didn't hear it from Avi Steinman, the manager. I think I heard it from James first. James was plugged into everybody.
Okay.
So way more than I was. So then James called and was like, "What?"
Okay.
And getting back to James real quick, I used to say to James towards the end there, I'd say, "James, you're going to end up like Janie." "No, what are you talking about? Give me a break." I said, "James, he died from drinking. It wasn't drugs. He drank too much."
Yeah.
And it was exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really a sad thing that was just repeated itself, whatever,
So was it a surprise to you, or had you heard that he had kind of?
Well, no, remember we were talking, he was drinking too much on the road.
Yeah.
And I knew he was unhappy. No, it didn't surprise me at all.
Okay.
I mean, during the 2000s, he was still with Warrant, then he left Warrant, and I could just see how all that, then he went back to Warrant.
Yeah.
And I had just heard stories.
Yeah.
Just like everybody hears stories. And unfortunately, I knew that the stories were real because I knew him.
Right.
And I knew what was bullshit and what wasn't. So,
right.
So it really, one day he drove to my house. I lived on it was a busy street, and he pulled halfway into the driveway, and the other half was left out into the street. And he was walking up, and he knocks on the door. He goes, "Rick," and my daughter answered. And he goes, "Don't let your kids see me like this." It was so sad. And I go, "Dude, what are you doing?" And he came in, and I walked him back to the car. I go, "Dude, you can't drive." "I'm fine." But he left his car halfway in the road. So oncoming traffic would have to stop for other people to pass. But that was like one of the last times I ever saw him.
Okay.
I think it was the last time I saw him. And I said, "Dude, you got to pull your car in." I helped him with that. And that was it. But he would look bad. He looked bad. He was unshaven. And so again, back to your original question, it didn't surprise me.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the average fan, we didn't know.
Absolutely not.
Like it comes out years later that there had been multiple DUIs and all of that, but not, unless you were like you or,
right.
It was a shock. You're like, what?
And then Metal Sludge would get wind of stuff, and then they would distort it. And I hated that, if you want to even call it a website or whatever it was.
Yeah.
They were just mudslingers, man. They made fun of every 80s band. You remember all that? They showed no mercy, and it was just like terrible. Like, why are you guys doing that?
I interviewed Stevie Rochelle, who runs Metal Sludge, and his point was that, look, we didn't lie. We told the truth. And I asked him once, I said, "Did you ever feel bad?" Yeah. I mean, they were hard on Jani Lane.
I know. I mean, that's part of, being that cherry pie guy. They wouldn't let up.
Yeah. And Stevie said at times, I'm like, some of these guys, I'm sure Jani got it worse than anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. It was constant.
Do you ever miss the road? Do you ever like?
Oh yeah, I miss the camaraderie. I miss like doing a show and then kicking it and getting on the bus and
right.
it was kind of crazy, and then go back to the hotel. Just the vibe of being around. It was a party. It really was. It's like saying, "Do you miss partying?" Yeah. So
Yeah.
not necessarily, drugs or anything. I just the idea of a party. It was like a party every night.
Yeah.
The nights that you were off, you went out, and it was another party, just a different kind of party.
Right.
So it just kept, who doesn't miss a party?
Yeah. Okay. You have filled in so many question marks about that time, about Kingdom Come,
Right.
about Warrant. So, and we know that you're working on the new Kingdom Come album. We're not sure when it's going to come out, but I think you said there was 4 songs written.
Yeah.
Kind of talked about all that. So, I know you do other stuff. You're working with bands. Tell me what you got going on now.
Okay. Well, first of all, the one that's progressed the most is I started giving lessons to this girl named Helena Harris when she was 13 and a half or 14.
Okay.
And then, so now she was taking guitar, and then I said, well, can you sing? And so she started singing, and then, over that course of time, she's 19 now.
Okay.
So I've kind of been her mentor and helped her write and helped her become a musician, writer, songwriter, just the whole gamut.
Yeah.
She would do join like it's called Join the Band or School of Rock, those kind of things.
Yep.
You get some stage experience, singing guitar, just whatever it took to get her like comfortable and playing in front of people, and all the little tricks and stuff that you need to know. Anyway, so I'm kind of mentoring this whole time. Yeah. So she's doing really well. They moved to Vegas, and she's got a little band that she's doing over there. Sure. I still show her stuff, or we still communicate via Zoom.
Yep.
I can't really, but she's kind of like, I let her do her thing now because she should do her thing. She'll run some ideas past me, and then I'll say, okay. So she and I wrote about 5 or 6 songs. Now, when I say I wrote them, she would come up with an idea, and I'd have to write like she writes, not like I write.
Right.
Because she needs to learn how to take it to the next step.
Sure.
I mean, so there's a couple songs I really did too much work on it, and I felt like, God, I ruined it because it's I wrote it pretty much.
Right.
And that's not the point of this whole thing.
Right.
But their dad had booked some studio time, and I said, we got to get this thing done. So and plus my name was going to be on it. So I thought, well, I'll kind of goose it up a little bit, something that she would never do because she didn't experience. So Helena Harris, you can see her videos, a couple videos that I did with her on YouTube. One is called Love Is Your Weakness, and the other one is what's the other one? Dead Inside. The other ones aren't really polished, so I don't know if the father ever did anything with them. I know I wrote with her, and they recorded some studio in Vegas.
Okay.
I'm not sure if, like, I know those songs are in the music sphere somewhere, but
sure.
So, and then her Instagram, you can really see her band, and all is official. It's at Official Helena Rocks. That's what it is.
How do you spell Helena, if I can ask?
Yeah, Helena, Helena, like Helena. Okay.
Okay. And at Helena Harris Rocks?
At Official Helena Rocks.
Oh, at Official Helena Rocks. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, and I will put that link.
Yeah, and then when we're done, you can check out those YouTube videos.
Yes.
There's one where it's just the music, and then there's one with the actual videos.
Okay.
There's the 2 songs are either with video or with just by themselves, like
sure.
You see her picture.
Okay. Check
those out. And then so she's getting a lot of buzz created over there. She's doing, Vegas is Vegas is a weird city, man. It's like we're old musicians that made it in LA, that they moved to Vegas. It's full of a bunch of people like myself. Not, you know what I mean? Like they're not young enough to like start from scratch, but
Yep.
they go there, you know what I mean? And try to start over at 55. It's like, I don't know, dude. Just write some music for someone else. Give someone else a shot. You know what I mean?
Oh, I interview so many people that are there.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
they're probably playing with a band, and then they're playing covers and on
Yeah.
because they want to make a living doing music anyway.
No, I don't diss them for that. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's just so funny that it's the place to get. It's like the graveyard of rock stars.
Totally.
I
Yeah.
don't mean that so maliciously, but it's kind of, you know.
I hear you.
And then several over the years, I worked with a guitar player that was in Slash's son's band.
Okay.
Now he's in a band that I've worked with called Saint Electra. He's the guitar player. His name's Nico. It's at Saint. It's at S as in Sam. Then 8, the number 8 NT, and then ELEKTRIC. Saint Electra.
S8. Then what?
NT.
NT.
Then electric. ELEKTRIC.
Okay. ELEKTRIC.
Right.
And is that the Instagram?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I worked with his son. I worked with the father brought that kid over to me when he was young, just sort of like the girl story. And I taught him guitar, and now this is his band. And he played with Slash's son for a long time under a different name or different band. But anyway, he's another one that I kind of mentored and what have you. And now they're doing pretty good. And then I'm working with a guy. He's in his 40s, but I'm playing in the band and writing with them, but I'm not really in the band.
Okay.
I go, dude, if we play live, you got to play with. I go, well, maybe, I don't know. Probably get some younger guys in there if you want to make a buzz. But he's 40, maybe 43 or 40. I don't know. He's no spring chicken, but at least he's younger, and might be able to pull it off a little better. But so of course I'll do it. So I'm writing with him, and he's doing his own thing, and that's called Joker's Revolt. So I'm just looking at all my stuff here.
Yeah.
And that's you can. There's some stuff he posts all the Instagram stuff on that. There's some older stuff on there called it's Joker's Revolt at Joker's Revolt on Instagram. And all this other stuff, music, can be found on Spotify and YouTube and blah, blah, blah. So I'm just looking.
Are these people that you started giving lessons to, and then it's kind of progressed?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I give lessons to like pretty famous people. I mean, not like movie star, but like Greg Nicotero. He does all the special effects and all the gore and stuff for The Walking Dead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's got his own spinoff on AMC.
Yeah.
It's called No Guts or Glory, or Guts and Glory, something like that. No Guts and Glory. Does that make sense? No Guts or Glory. All right. And then Kurt Wimmer, he's a producer, writer of movies. He's done Sphere, Salt, with Angelina Jolie. I mean,
oh yeah,
he's got a bunch. He's into the sci-fi mode, so he's a cool guy. Then I gave the local hero, the Skylord, they call him out here. I still give him lessons every once in a while. He's a traffic helicopter guy.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm just saying that the word gets around, that I'm giving lessons, so it's good. Yeah. So I got 22 students, and that keep people go, oh wow, you give lessons? Well, isn't that kind of boring? And I go, no, because believe it or not, I'm still learning as I
Sure.
give lessons. It's weird because they'll come in and they want to learn this song. Maybe I've never even heard it, and then I have to learn it by ear. I
Right.
don't ever go on to YouTube to find out how to, because then I would be cheating myself. And I want them to see the process I go through using my ear to figure out stuff. So I don't want to just teach them the song. I want them to learn how they can do that themselves eventually.
Right.
So with that many students, and it used to be, it was a little tiring when most of my students were kids. So it used to be like 75% were kids, 25% were adults. Now it's completely flipped.
Okay.
I have more adults, right?
Right.
And I like that because they're more on my level. We can talk more music and what have you. So that's the good thing about it. And again, I enjoy it. It's like teaching anything, like a teacher would like teach math or whatever. I enjoy it, and it's in my field anyway.
Yeah.
Right. I especially like when now it does get a little boring when someone, I've taught one song like "Sweet Child of Mine." I'm like, a student will come and say, "Hey, I want to learn that song," and I go, "Oh fuck, I want to taught that song a million times. Don't make me do it again."
Right.
That's the downside when you get repeat songs that you've done. But they're all over the place. There's kids in here or people that like country, rock, the whole thing, blues, bluegrass, funk. So it keeps me, fresh and doing things. Then I'm also, besides all that crap, I'm in a dad band where three of my students are in the band they've never played in a band before.
Okay.
They've just doodle on guitar. So I'm teaching them the guitar. And at the same time, when they got to a certain level, I said, you guys, students, if you're young enough, you want to play out. You don't want to just sit in your room and play.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of learning is either take it to the next level or, play a campfire, whatever stuff.
Right.
But so I said, you guys, we can put a band together. I said, I know a terrible drummer that'll work with you guys.
Right.
We're all terrible. And we couldn't find a bass player that was bad enough that would join us because they were all good. And I couldn't find a bass player that was just like mediocre, just that would want to get together and do, backyard barbecues and for free birthday parties. We play like birthday parties and anything. And we play for free because it's just, they've never played. Like they're in a band. Wow. It's just awesome.
Totally.
Right? All in their 50s, early 60s, whatever.
Sure.
So it's kind of fun. So I do that. And so back to the bass player, I have to play bass because I couldn't, until we find a bass player, I'm the bass player, dude. I'm the one playing "She's a Brick House." I don't sing. Well, I sing backup, but bass is a lot of fun. I never realized until I'm
right.
playing
Is it pretty? I mean,
no.
Easy just to jump on the bass.
It's easy if you play it like a guitar player, where you're holding, like, say you go you play a little bit, right?
I mean, I attempted some guitar.
From an A chord to a D chord. So that's your guitar player goes A and then D. So the bass player will go A, B, C, D, connect two chords with a running bass line. So that kind of stuff, it's not easy.
Right.
Anybody can play really basic bass, and I swear most of the people out there that aren't musically inclined or whatever wouldn't know the difference. They just wouldn't. But you can't go up there and play like a guitar.
Right.
Although I do sometimes. Anyway, so that's about it. My kids are raised, so I'm not handling that anymore. So
how many kids do you have?
Two daughters.
Okay.
One's 24 and one will be 22 tomorrow. So yeah.
Did they ever, were they interested in your music career? Did they ask you about it or?
Oh yeah. They're more interested now because they didn't realize I did stuff. They go, wait, what's that song I heard on the radio? Wasn't that one of your songs? I go, yeah. She goes, wow, I heard it on Spotify. I go, yeah, thanks. 20 years ago, lady.
Right.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. My daughter piddles around on the piano,
Sure.
but I try to give them guitar lessons when they were young, but a father cannot teach their kids. It's just, Dad, no, no. And then you try to get them on a schedule. Dad, can we do it tomorrow? I want to do, I'm going to this person's house today. So they didn't have the discipline. I didn't discipline them enough, obviously. It's all good.
Yeah.
They can both sing great, but
Right.
they have no aspirations to
Sure.
be in the business now.
Well, I'm kind of like you. I work at a basketball academy. I train little kids
Right.
to play basketball. And
Sure.
so I get where you're like, sometimes it's the same thing
Yeah.
over and over. And my son, I tried to coach him when he was younger, and he's like, he's like anybody
Yeah.
but you.
Right. There you go.
Right. I can kind of relate.
You definitely relate.
How do people reach out to you and know that about lessons? I mean, do you have any kind of social media or what?
I have an Instagram account too,
Okay.
just at Rick Steier. It's very simple. Yeah.
Okay.
And I post, it's actually, I use it more. I don't use it like to take pictures of the beach and like we're in Hawaii, and it's all just for music
Sure.
and mostly for students because I advertise, in some like Craigslist, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So if they want to see what I can do, they go to the Instagram.
Sure.
So that's mainly why I use it. So if you go on there, you'll see pictures with me and Dee Snider. I'll post cool stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Or Bruce Dickinson. I was with him backstage, a couple of weeks ago.
Sure.
And so that kind of stuff I post, but it's mostly, you'll see that when I play, I even talk a little bit. This is mostly for new students or for students. So, people know what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will have that link in the description.
Right on.
I'll put those the people that you have worked with, Saint Electra, Joker's Revolt, Helena Harris.
Yeah.
That'll all be down there.
Right on.
Is there anything else? Anything that you're like, shit, let me tell you that.
Oh yeah. Well, one thing, on the recording I did with Helena, the first one, it was called Love Is Your Weakness. I forgot. I called up Rudy Sarzo. He played bass on it.
No shit.
Yeah, I forgot. That's pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And then Les Warner, who was with the Cult, the drummer, he played drums on it. So yeah, that's probably a big miss for me to mention that. So yeah, that was fun.
That happens a lot. Like I'll get done with these and people email me and go, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you this. Can you
Yeah.
add this somewhere? Anyway.
Yeah, I get it. Well, thanks, brother. I
Hey,
enjoyed it. It was a great time.
It was phenomenal. I have a best friend who does helps me a lot with this channel.
Right
I
on.
was just telling him, I'm like, man, I said this interview is going to answer so many people's questions. I think people are going to flip out when it comes out because there's not, like I said, you can't go to YouTube and be like, hey, let me go check out the recent Rick Steier podcast.
Yeah.
And,
right.
And here it is. So
Yeah, good for you. I mean, you're getting my word out there too, so I appreciate that on your part.
Absolutely. And again, when you guys put out the new album with Kingdom Come or whatever, you are welcome back on. And Rick Steier,
Yeah, I'll definitely get a hold of you, and maybe we'll follow up and do some shorter, just to talk about it and what have you. Yeah.
Totally. Rick Steier, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Anthony, you the man. Always.